Or Spoon 107.5 FM. From the top of Wologisi to the beaches of Maryland, we cover Liberia like nobody else does. This is Spoon 107.
It's done. A special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, right in the South, man.
To get your information, for the food to be part of Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you and know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Morocco, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Bonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat a pound, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, but yes, what you got today? Spoon TV, Spoon Balaba, Spoon Entertainment. On the food, yes, information. On the food, yes,
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, right in the South, man.
On the food, to get your information. For the food, to be part of Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you and know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Morocco, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just spoon. Want to know what happening in ministry to small. Yeah, to small. Yeah, to small. You from Bonjama, Maryland to small. Yeah, to small. Every Ikepan, graduate, my brother to small. You got a small TV, you got a small radio, to small. Yeah, to small. You want to get a news update, to small. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, but you got it. Yes, but you got it.
Damo, you talking to us? We're not hearing you. I believe we are working on the audios, guys. We will be having a great show today. We're working on the audio. Damo, we're not hearing you. You staying great today? We're hearing the music, but we're not hearing you. All right, so Damo going to work on it. You guys can hear Damo. Just if you can hear him, just let him know. Maybe it's from my end. Can you hear Damo very well? If you're watching us, you can hear Damo. Please let us know. I'm not hearing him. Every one of you watching us on Spoon, Facebook, Super. If you can hear Damo, let us know. I'm not hearing him. Nope. Damo, you're not hearing you, right? We're not hearing you. You're in Zede today. Ziale today. Today we're going to be having Darius DeLon while Damo get that thing ready. He's going to get the audio ready. We're going to be having our guest tonight on the one-on-one with the CEO. And there's the real one-on-one, by the way. One-on-one, just one-on-one. You know, when we say one-on-one, then you get some people creeping in. This is a real one-on-one. Not 2-for-1, not 3-for-1. This is the real one-on-one. I believe you can hear me. So while Damo work on the audio, I believe you're hearing me, right? Right. It's good to see all of you. Thank you for joining us. Share the show. Let's talk to Abraham, the friend of God, Abraham Darius DeLon. Every day we say the same thing over and over. A lot to be discussed today. Happy Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to my wife, my beautiful madam, my beautiful wife, Mistress Witherspoon. She's here. We just came from church. It was wonderful. We celebrated Mother's Day at the Lutheran Church in Trenton, South Broad Street, the Lutheran Church of the Redeemer. That's where we celebrated our Mother's Day. And I met my friend, my good old friend, Ashford, the giant, Gali. When Ashford was in the Trenton area, he came, he met me. It was a great one-on-one with Ashford. And also, I like to say that to all of you celebrating Mother's Day out there, my mother, Beatrice Sebet-Jua Witherspoon, happy Mother's Day to her. I called her first thing this morning. My mother-in-law, Kluba Molvar, we had to spend the Mother's Day at the Hot Church in Trenton, the Lutheran Church, and it was a great time. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all my sisters and my in-law. as they celebrate this wonderful Mother Day. Justina Witherspoon, Cecilia Witherspoon, Patricia Witherspoon, Grace Witherspoon, Annie. To all of them, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to them, all the entire family, to my in-law, Dad, Precious, and all of my in-laws. I want to say happy to my kids, who are mothers, Alaka, Manny, Diamond, all of them. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to them. We wish the church family, Madam Basia Jimmy James, the mother of the church, Happy Mother's Day, and all the mothers and to-be mothers, we want to wish them Happy Mother's Day. Whatever you are joining us, Happy Mother's Day to you. I hope you celebrating your Mother Day wonderfully. We like to encourage you. It's going to be a great time today with Abraham Darius DeLon. We will be discussing national issue. So we want to say to all of you, we hope you are doing very, very well. Happy Mother's Day to you. Some good mother here. My sister Bobby's in Hawaii. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to Dr. Richardson, and wishing her well to Sis Glendy. Happy Mother's Day to Jackie McKay. Happy Mother's Day to Salamatu. Salamatu will be joining us this week on Tuesday and Thursday. We want to say Happy Mother's Day to Salamatu. Who am I forgetting again in our chat room? I think that's it, right? I don't know, but I will go to our staff, my powerful staff, Lorena and Lady Supreme. Happy Mother's Day. Rose Marie Makiva, Happy Mother's Day. Patricia Dapo, Happy Mother's Day. And all the women, including the CEO herself, Madam Titi Kanen, happy Mother's Day to you. She's a God-fearing woman. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the leading mothers in Liberia and outside of Liberia. You know yourself. I don't need to call your name, but I'm wishing you nothing but the best. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. As you celebrate your Mother's Day, just remember, your children love you and they're standing by you. Directly or indirectly, you will never, ever be forgotten. I like to say also that I believe Diamond is working on the audio. We will be bringing in Senator Abraham Darius DeLon. Abraham Darius DeLon will come and have a full conversation with us. This one they say men can talk all, but men will talk all today. So continue to share the show. Let's make progress. And Diamond will give us the sign once it is ready. The great one today, a great one coming your way with the most Serrano Senator Abraham, the man of God, Abraham Darius DeLon. A great one coming up today. We're going to discuss everything. Nothing will be covered. We have to say everything. We have to say everything because it's the best thing to do, right? We got to talk about Liberia. So just sit back, get your popcorn. DeLon and I want to have a show. It's nothing but the best because what happening, let me tell you, my people, what happening here, we got to push. We have to push. We got to make this work. We got to make this happen. So they don't got to tell us exactly what is going on with this government, what is going on, outside of the government, what's happening, if the government making progress, a lot of stuff is happening. A lot of stuff is happening. So we want to invite you, be ready, get ready, and let's have fun. The guest tonight, don't forget, is the Maserati Senator Abraham Darius DeLon. Don't forget the bag of rice. We're still waiting on Diamonds to tell us when he's going to distribute those rice. We have rice. We have a lot of rice, right? A lot of rice, over 150 bags. Even 25 bags were given by our sister, Sisi Kepo. $500 was given by our sister, Bobby's in Hawaii, and a lot of people contributed. So we got rice, and Diamond just have to find the time now to let us know when he would distribute it. What issue happened this gone Saturday? We had technical issue, and I think they have resolved it. So Diamond, are we good? Are you there? We need to rock and roll. We got but 2 more minutes to go to bring in Senator DeLon, or maybe we will take calls from your end. What you think DeLon coming to say, folks? As you share the show, what you think DeLon will say today? It's going to be a wonderful conversation. Wherever you're joining us, let me recognize you. Let me recognize you for where I am. Tipo Pique Dempster, you always join us. You are Tipos. Let me say this. Before the show ends, I will try to adjust the style. The style thing, you go to church, you come back, you got to make some adjustment. I want to know plow. Yeah. You go to church, you come back, you got to make some adjustment. Ain't no plow with the entire team, but we got to make some adjustment. So people speak at them. So Makula son, how you doing? How you doing? Agnes Kennedy, where you guys joining us from? Agnes Kennedy, it's good to have you, Agnes Kennedy. It's good that you're joining us today. Who else we have? We have Moses Gibson. Moses Gibson. Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt. Moses Gibson. I got Gibson W. Jeru. Gibson Jeru is here as well. But we're going to keep it as we promised our guests. It would be the actual one-on-one. I'm going to do this in 2 hours because if not, I asked my wife for only 2 hours. Anything more than 2 hours, I would be a dead man. Trust me, I have to do 2 hours only because, we got to celebrate. We will celebrate our God. So we got to celebrate, and we got to be very, very sincere. Let me place a call to Dama now to see what she's doing in the back for us to know where we are, because a lot of people are expecting Darius DeLon. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, this is your program, Darius DeLon. Dama, what's up? You live. You're on speaker. Should I put you in my ear? I may say, please put me in your ear. Let me put you in my ear now. Let's see what is in my ear, Dama. Dama, what's up now? You're in my ear. Hello? So, ladies and gentlemen, where you're joining us from, we're going to be having Darius DeLon. If you can hear us on the radio, if you are on the radio by way, we're going to say yes, indeed. We've been bringing Alhaji Koita this week as well. Agnes Kennedy, you hearing me, right? You saying no sound from where? Can you hear me, Agnes? I believe you can hear me. And I was just on the phone with Diamond. Everything is good. And I want to say to all of you, we're going to be having a wonderful show tonight. If you, by way, listening to the radio, again, welcome to Spoon Talk. We will be speaking to the issue of national concern. Share the show. We just got about 18 minutes into the program. Let me make some adjustment. I'm here. I'm in the back speaking to you, whatever the situation is. There you go. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. We'll be having a great conversation today. Samuel Tuet is a free man, but how long can Samuel Tuet be free? I'm seriously asking this question because I've gathered so many information about some major indictment coming up again on Samuel Tuet. If you want to hear this one, thank God we have in DeLon. Well, we can talk about it. But I just thinking they want to indict Samuel Tuet again for what? I will keep this news for tomorrow if you want me to keep it for tomorrow. If you ask me, to be frank, if you ask me, I will answer you. But if you ask me, I will not say anything. So if you think that you want to know, then, well, we'll open the line because DeLon is getting ready to come on. We'll open the line and we'll hear you. What's your question? I'm hearing this big indictment coming again on Samuel Tuet. I'll tell you where it's coming from, though. The letter will be put out this week. Damo, you okay now? Are you saying it's the too late? Damo, call on the cell phone. We'll talk to you like that. Call on the cell phone. Listen, we are innovators. Yeah, we connect through the cell phone. We're here today by fire, by force. You can't make it. There you go. Come on, you can hear us now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you through this.
All right, but we can hear you too now. So we on the radio, we're on you. Tell me you can make it. You can run. You're trying hard to run away today. You can run. Not big, yeah.
No, I can never run for you.
Yeah, you're trying hard tired. We got it right. But we're bringing DeLon on today, Damo. We're bringing DeLon on. We're on the radio, right?
Yes, live on the radio since you started talking.
Yo, you guys can hear Damo now, right? We just try to create other means to hear Damo. Damo is here. But Damo, let's think about Samuel 12. They put in letter out to call for investigation again. A lot of big one coming up on Samuel 12. Why they can't leave this guy alone?
Well, we've been hearing a lot since he was acquitted on Friday of all charges. Hearing new charges are being trumped up again from another angle. But if Mr. 12 was able to have gone through 5 charges, let's see if he's serious about what we're hearing. Then we're here to follow up.
But that is not. Listen, if I break the news, I break the news. So then Mother Day, I don't lie on Mother Day. I can never lie on Mother Day. The mother that will get involved with me, Damo, you know I don't lie. The person they come up with $21 million rent subsidy charges on Samuel 12. Let us go in all this week to call people for investigation. They got Mawani Dix on that. They got Samuel 12 on that. They got Bangura. And when I asked about Bangura, our old man, Wilfred Bangura, they said, but wait, Wilfred Bangura have agreed to work with the state. What I mean, Damo? There may be a state witness on this one, Damo. It got nothing to do with the 11 million, though. We are talking about millions of dollars here. I want to keep something back. I want to keep it back because I don't want to give everything up. But Damo, this is a scary time in our country. Samuel 12 is not off the hook.
Yeah, so you asked the question as to Mr. Bangura if he's state witness or state evidence. It's all that happens all around the world. People look for sources.
And Damo, is there any way you can be from your end? Because we're getting the feedback. I know we're using the phone, but how can you work on that?
Well, let me see what I can do.
That's why, ladies and gentlemen, Damo is slow walking us. You gotta get, let's see. The man told share the rest yesterday. He didn't share the rest. He holding all the 150 bag of rest. The man said he's not saying it till he ready. What can we do to this guy? And I'll be frank. To the mother say, I will tell the truth. I don't lie on Mother Day. I never lie. Listen, if you want me to tell you the truth, any day it should be Mother's Day. I can never lie on Mother's Day. Mother's Day, you want anything from me, ask me, I will give it to you. That's the only day I like to do good, Mother's Day. That's the day we gotta appreciate our mom. The Papa and Papa, when I appreciate them, because we don't even know if they're real children. But in my part, when a woman say you my son, you my daughter, no DNA test. But when a man say you my son, you my daughter, you gotta go check it out. Because someone ain't correct. But I leave that one for today. Damo, listen, I don't want us to go through the Samuel 12 conversation because the Lord is coming. Or he get his own wahahara, he get his own, something he got to come tell the Liberian people. But I can tell you though, I'm concerned. Another big one coming for Samuel 12. He will need me off. They might take me, you see? They might take me off. I want to tell the man secret about 150 bag of rice sharing. They might take me off, but no problem. I hear. So, ladies and gentlemen, Damo, what are you thinking? What are you thinking, Damo? What are you thinking? They can leave Samuel 12 alone.
Well, I don't know if you're still getting the echo.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. So, Samuel 12 worked on Friday. We're hearing that a new indictment might come up against him this week. You already talked about what it will be about. The only thing that's left is where it's coming from. But Mr. 12, like any other person who's well grounded in Liberia, as he was in the previous government, he still do have loyalists all around who would have by now, told him and given him hands up. But why wouldn't they leave him alone? We are looking to see. The government has said Mr. 12 played a pivotal role in a lot of transactions. The first one, they were unable to have proven 5 charges against him. Let's see where this comes from. It's about, you said there's over 20 million worth of US dollars worth of money they're talking about that Mr. 12 and others allegedly caused damage to the state. Those monies they misapplied allegedly. So let's see if they can prove.
Let me hold you right there, Damo. Let me hold you briefly, right? I mean, I gotta tell the Liberian people, but I'm keeping this thing for them all. But this is no joke. Like I said, it's no joke. Asset recovery. Arrest. And I said, name arrest, right? Asset recovery. Honor Councilor Claude Martin. Tomorrow, breaking news. They're sending out letters.
They can wait.
No, I can't wait. Remember, I can't wait. No, but what should I wait? The people want to hear, oh, so you want me to be, okay, you know what? That must have to be quiet. I shouldn't say anything. No, I don't like this guy tell me, say I'm a wait. I'm a wait on what? So the mother said the people want to hear the mother of the story. You're not fair with Dama. They must say I'm a wait. I say nothing again. Oh. I say nothing again. Seriously.
I know you should say.
No. I'm not saying anything again. I am not going to say a word because Dama is asking me to wait. So you got to tell Dama why he's stopping me. Why he know. He also want to share with you guys. He asking me to wait. To wait for what? To give the Labyrinth people the good news? He said, I can't wait.
Let me tell you something. You know the letter you put out, was it Friday night concerning the access denied, to the president by the trade envoy.
Yeah, Mohammed Ba.
Yeah. So I called to do the balancing because I needed to hear from him, to write our story. And he said, oh, well, I see you if you didn't talk to me earlier, then you're calling me to balance and to still talk jelly that one when it comes to the other one. I have to do the journalism. Now can you confirm? And he confirmed receipt of the letter. He said the incident didn't happen. He said they should use the CCTV footage from the president's house to investigate, but he denied that he assaulted or insulted any EPS officers. Yeah, but he did confirm that letter that we posted that is authentic, and so far he has been denied access to the president and the president's premises. So,
if you want us to talk on that briefly, I think that Mohammed Ba is wrong. I think Sam Gate is doing everything he can. This thing about I have direct access to the president should stop. It's a responsibility of Sam Gate to make sure that everything around that president, the first family, they are safe. If they say you can't make it today, say, okay, I will make it tomorrow. But Mohammed Ba, I first get begin. That's my own man. He first get too much. So what Sam Gate did today was good. I mean, the last time, you can't go in there and cause the security then like manning the president and say that I have to see the president. Then he said a lie. They might cause the security then. He assaulted and insulted them. That's wrong. This guy is my man, but I would say, so these kind of people bring bad things to the government. But today is Sunday. I don't want to talk about Mohammed Ba, but I'm my man. He and this other guy, the Nigerian guy that they get $3 million to do terrorism business. That guy, the Nigerian ECOMO guy, Owakadugu, what his name is, Onyen guy. Yeah. They're going to get $3 million to a Nigerian to do tourism in Liberia. What kind of yama is that? How will you get a man $3 million to run the Liberian tourism? The man from Nigeria, he born in Nigeria, he grew up in Nigeria, he came as an ECOMO to Liberia, he came back there, you gave him $3 million. That's my friend. That's my friend. So these are the disgrace, my man. They shouldn't have access to the president. The president needs to rise. The president needs to be dealing strategically. Not just in a moment, yama come around and say, yeah, I got to see the president. And when the security tell you no, and you say you got to force your way. So, Sam Gate, not my friend, but Sam Gate is right. Because if he doesn't do it, we'll deal with Sam Gate. Sam Gate is right on this one. And I think Mohammed Ba is wrong. They shouldn't do temporary, but you know what? At the end of the day, though, guess what will happen? You know what will happen?
No, you tell me.
I'll tell you what will happen. President Boga going to call Mohammed Ba and say, he can't see me. But what the Papa do? The Papa said we just override Sam Gate and say leave Mohammed alone. Mohammed going to go to Sierra Leone, bring one of his current investor, and say Papa will get an investor. President Boga say bring it in. President Boga is that uncle, that grandpa that you can't get fair with. And that's what happening. So all the guys around the president, they are just frisky yama. Yama frisky yama. Not yama, but frisky yama.
First time hearing the combination of frisky and yama.
Yeah, that's how they gotta behave. Frisky yama. So you might say don't go there yet, wait. For you to wait, you say now you're running around and say, I can go there, I get direct access, nobody can stop me. Something happened to the president and what you say? That same day we broke. You got to listen to the EPS director Sam Gate. We may not like him because he has said to you got your own problem, but when he gave instruction, security-wise, you gotta listen to him. You gotta listen to Samuel Kofi Woods, national security advisor to the president. All the guys are running circles around the president. Nothing they'll do, nothing they can bring the Unity Party, nothing. They can bring one rack to Unity Party. Joseph Boga leave from there today, they're going to the next hustle. And that's a problem. So we got to protect Joseph Yimabwaka. We got to protect the interests of the president. We got to protect his surrounding. And that's what Sam Gay doing. Because you know what? Sam Gay messed up today. We'll deal with Sam Gay. We'll lock him up. We will. But again, to each his own. That the door, that the bone that in the door, but you remember the public parable? That one for me, that picture, man. The bone in the door, man. Just sit down there. But ladies and gentlemen, we're waiting for Abraham Dar-es-Salaam. We got a lot to talk today. I know we are dragging this thing to 8 p.m. Liberian time. We will take your calls. I know you're trying to call, but a beautiful Sunday. This one-on-one, it's a complete one-on-one. I see Kev calling me that he won't come. Kev not coming on today. Kev will not come on today. Let Kev not celebrate the 7-12 win. They one-on-one part, that complete one-on-one. No, damn. What am I calling me? I done basically called 3 times. He's not coming on. I will not bring him on. He can come on for post-analysis. And after 2 hours, we're gone. So there will be no post-analysis. There will be no post-analysis.
No access today.
No access today. So wait, my man, take the thing from the chat room, sir. I don't even put it in the chat room. Take the link from the chat room. No access today. After the one-on-one,
Yes,
we'll go.
I'm moving it.
Yeah, move it from the chat room. Because the man kept going to go to a friend Bashira house. They got to call Bashira. I don't know his name just coming up. But anyway, let me leave that one. We on national. Kelebu, what you said? Damo, hold on, let me bring Kelebu in. My man, y'all got to call me a different phone, man. I get down here on my phone. Kelebu, you're not important. Leave me alone. Don't just watch the show, Kelebu. Don't come start talking. That way, okay, let me put a phone number that people should call Damo. That would be better. Because I don't want to just tell people now to call, you know, Kelebu, I'm a man. That either Gonglo brother, Castle Gonglo brother, you know, he can give me a hard time, but he's not that a serious guy anyway. He's a math teacher here in Pennsylvania.
I see
In the chat room?
No, yeah.
Oh, thank God. So don't put it there, Becky. Don't put it there.
Yeah, I'll put that there, sir.
Yeah, I don't want nobody to come. I won't deal with it alone. I have to deal with it alone. It's been a long time. I have to have a... Folks, let's be serious. There's a lot to discuss today with Abraham Dar-es-Salaam. There's a lot. They don't talk plenty. They don't talk a lot of plenty things on national issue, on the border. We got to deal with Delon on the border. We got to deal with Delon. We got to deal with Delon on the LEC. No, I'm not putting on my secret. That one, I'm not going to put it up because you know what, though? If I put it up, Delon will run with it. So let me leave it. Let me leave it. You know, a lot of people watching today, a lot of people trying to say yes. They won't hear what they don't have to say because they don't say the government went through the investigation on feelings. You saw that, Damo?
Yeah.
You heard that, right?
About sentiments.
Yeah. You know, but again, let me say this to you. Damo, can we take some calls from your end?
Let's start from your end. I can go off the line and you can take calls while we try to do adjustments here. If you're just joining us, I'm live because I'm talking to the CEO via the phone. So let me just go off and then we can do some adjustments here.
Yeah. Okay. So let me take calls from this side. I want to say the numbers are up. You can call me Kelebu. You can call me now if you're ready. You my man Kelebu. You know how it is. Kelebu. The man is, how can you name somebody Kelebu? What does it mean? Yeah, man, my partner name me Kelebu. You know, I don't know. Anyway, that's my man. Let me see what you say. Kelebu. But man, why they name you? Why your parents name you Kelebu? Why?
Kelebu means life is difficult.
I mean, your mom, your papa born you, and they say your life will be difficult. Seriously?
No, not like you, but it's a wise saying. It's true that it's difficult to live, right?
No, it's not. Yeah. I refuse that. As a Christian, I will never take that. I disagree with you. Life is not difficult.
Well, that's a modern name. It's a modern name. So, modern people, when they came on earth, probably there was no Jesus at the time.
What do you mean there was no Jesus? Jesus was there since the beginning of the world.
Jesus is just 2,000 years old. So, modern people have been at the beginning of the earth.
Look about Jesus was there since the beginning. Say in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And God said, let us. Who the us? The Holy Spirit and Jesus. God was talking to that us. My man, leave me, man. Don't tell me about the Bible. They name you Kelebu, then you can't give me a hard time.
No, I was trying to agree with you on your proposal that you alone should do the interview, Santa. That's what I was trying to do.
No, I understand, my man. You know I'm messing with you, but to tell you the truth, I agree.
No, when you alone do it, I think you get more out of the guest.
Yeah.
Than when you have openers. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I actually want to hear what Dylan was saying. So I just wanted to support you in that decision.
But what you think? Let me ask you though, the overview, they don't been talking. What do you think? What do you think they don't come into say today? When you talk about the border, what do you think? How can they don't, a rescue senator? What would be that message now to turn the people's hearts around? What do you think?
It's difficult to predict Dylan mind because Dylan is a maverick. So sometimes he takes things against his own group. He says things are popular with the public. So I mean, I think the verdict is in the sky. No one can really say because Dylan is going to say something that is very popular with the public. So it may not be popular with Unity Party people, but I think you say something that is popular with the public, and that's what I believe you do today.
Yeah. But thank you for calling. A lot of people called in to contribute. We want to say thank you a lot. Thank you for sharing the show, by the way. We're going to have Abraham Darius on. Yeah, like I said, to be frank, we're going to have a one-on-one interview with Dylan. I want to do the one-on-one thing. People want to express themselves, give themselves more time to talk. So on Sunday, it will be that one-on-one thing that we can hold these guys responsible. Kalabu, thank you. Let me take the next call.
All right.
Yeah. Your name and where you joining us from?
Yes, my name is Joey Nagoy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good to have you on. Dylan will be on tonight. What can you say? What are you expecting?
Yeah, just want you to tell her how far the electricity is right now, whether we can still keep our generator, or we can still put it, or we can still throw it away, or we should keep it. So we want to hear that too. And as for the indictment that coming out against Summer 12, and Stanton, no, these guys are ashamed. You have 5 indictments on Summer 12. The Mopar SSI alone, Summer 12 is the finance minister. That was done with the central bank. With other people, Summer 12 got nothing to do with it. The girl coming to bed and said she again. If I were then, let let Summer 12 go, accept the shit and live with it. I don't know what it is.
Thank you. Let me take another one here. Today, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all of you, but thank you for joining us. Your name and where you joining us from? This is who?
Judas.
Judas, talk to us, my friend.
Okay, so I'll get a bus to come on me. The common idea for government. We have taken hydro in Labio, we have coffee for hydro, we have support with hydro, we have hydro in Lofa country. Then the government when they vehicle for hydro and we support some boyfriend. And first look for hydro, use all the time, one country and the back country. Then the government go grant leader, so Eastern area.
So what you want Dylan to say? What you thinking they don't want to say today?
And you know that can be power to eat. You know anything good. That thing about the benefit itself.
So you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen to the man.
The man can't even steal. Oh, listen to the book in the steal.
I just said they don't. I just said they don't came to politics to steal. The men have done something great though.
Mr. Spawn, people came power the benefit of Latino people. You will see the improvement of the people. Okay, those people taking the benefit and say the children, none of Latino people. They're a lot of the Latino people taking the steal and suffer the poor people.
All right, but thank you for calling Spoon Talk. I want to announce to all of you that Dylan will be on in the next few minutes. It's good to have you joining us. Junior, share the show. Let's listen to Dylan. If you came to Steve, we're asking. You have your question for Dylan. You got to post your question. It's been a while since he appeared on Spoon, but the momentum is high. I got a couple of people from Nigeria. I didn't know that people could follow us from Nigeria talking about what would Dylan say. But again, let me go ahead. Your name and where you joining us from?
This is Gus Corman Stanton. Actually, I'm calling from St. Louis right now, but I live in Illinois.
Gus, what's up?
Not much, but man, you called me one time, I missed your call, but I really need to talk to you about Bunjima District and the schools down there that need some roofing. We'll do that. But I'm glad that you have Darius DeLong on. I think Mr. DeLong has tried a little bit, but I'm not sure how much, if he make it or not. You know, Mr. DeLong and his team have their program over there called, what do they call it? Something. I forgot.
The rehab center?
Something like that. So we want to know more about that. We want to know more about what DeLon has done to advocate for reduction of salary and all of those things that he pushed to us. And I think DeLon has done well, but he needs more people. And I think coming on here, we give him the opportunity to also open himself up and escape from some of the pressure of the Unity Party circle. Well, thank you. We'll be listening. Happy
before you leave, though, I know people are calling, but before you leave, let me ask you a question, though.
Yes.
Do you really want Dylan to answer the question whether he's running again 2029?
Yeah, I think Dylan should run. I mean, I think he's going to run, and I think Dylan has a very good chance. He's incumbent. He has a very good chance, but the water's going to be hot. I mean, some of us are saying Central Weatherspoon need to go back and run too.
Now, Agio, you slow. You slow, man. Leave Lumba. Let me leave you alone. Your name and where you joining us from? Where you joining us from? Your name?
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Isaac Bento. I'm calling from North Dakota.
Yeah, Isaac, talk to us, but man, welcome. Dylan is on the show tonight. In the next few minutes, he will be joining us. So make your case, my friend.
Yeah, I'll be honest to you. Darrell Dillon is a Bassa man. And Bassa people, the reason why every organization we found ourselves in would create enemyship because we are poor. And Darrell Dillon going to speak truth to power. No matter whether he's a senator for the ruling position, definitely, that one, I don't get encouraging to speak like that. I'm not a fan, but I know we from the Bassa background, we speak truth to power. You could see it. I can give you some information with us. You saw Joti and Chatero, that friend.
Okay, so let me take more calls, all right? But it's good that you say this. We do appreciate you watching, share the show, my friend. Your name and where you joining us from?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm here. Oh, thank you, Papa. What's up?
Nothing much. Send them what Dylan can please ask this question. One, if 5 people having to go and commit or accused of committing a crime, and 3 people got guilty, 4 guilty. If these 3 people having to go to the Supreme Court and take an appeal to the Supreme Court, will Samuel Twerp be involved into this case after he has been acquitted from the lower court? Thank you. That's all I want to say today.
All right, so but doing your share the show, thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
I will always share it.
Thank you. Your name and where you joining us from? Your name and where you joining us from? Your name and where are you joining us from? All right, let me take this one. Your name and where you joining us from? We are live on Spoon. You are live. Your name and where you joining us from?
Hey, CEO, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my friend.
Thank you. And let me say happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. I mean, CEO, to be frank with you, firstly, I'm Shelton Duo. I joined you this afternoon from Norfolk, Virginia. I mean, while we are with the Senator CEO, for me, I don't have a question directly to give it to you so you can post it to Senator Dillon. But what I can tell you is Senator Dillon is one of the leaders in Liberia that I have high regard for, because anytime he speaks, anytime he come up with issue, I mean, some of all we learn or that. People say he's not educated, but whenever he speaks, he have broad knowledge when it comes to legal issue. And finally, CEO, Senator Dillon, I think if all our leaders can be the Senator Dillon.
No, you want all the leaders to be there, man?
Yes.
It's wow.
So it's very simple. Leader, as a leader, when you make a mistake in life, you should come out to tell the people that I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Now, why you see our country is not going anywhere. Everybody feel that, or everyone feel that it knows everything. At the end of the day, even when they doing the wrong thing, they will always justify it.
Thank you very much. I got to take more calls. The calls going crazy. I agree with you. Share the show, okay? Dua, share the show, man. Let's have fun. Thank you very much. We got Mr. Alfred Cowboy. My man, I promised me birthday gift, but he sent it. I would not even take the guy call next time. Alfred, what's up?
Hey, CEO.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, the question I want you to ask Senator Dillon is that I want you to write it down. I want you to ask him during the Weir administration, he was very focused on Samuel Floyd when it comes to the debts. The debts, he said that the finance minister should give the details and those entities. Now that his government is in power and he has all the leverage, can he please tell Nigerian people whether he has asked his finance minister to give him Nigeria total debts and who are those people whom Nigeria owns?
I got you. I wrote it down. We'll talk about the debt.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Cowboy.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Share the show for us. We want to bring in another person. Your name and where you joining us from?
Yes, thanks on this. Hassan Dukle, calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Mr. Dukle, welcome to the show.
Yeah, my concerns have to do with Samuel, the former speaker, the former
finance minister. Yes, sir.
You know, one thing I always say that, it is good that he is acquitted. I'm so happy of that. But the only thing I would tell him, people that found guilty, they should not go for appeal, because when they go for appeal, they will definitely hold him there. Because we saw what happened to Samuka case.
Okay.
And secondly, I know that Darrell Dillon, when he comes, he will speak power to the truth. Because I know that these days, he don't really bite anybody that do wrong. He been really different Darrell Dillon these days. Since I've been firing these days, he's different. And
so you expect Dillon to speak truth to power?
Yeah, Dillon is not for anybody these days.
Okay.
Dillon record right now and before are not the same. Dillon is going on, he's on different level right now because he's not for the opposition, he's not for the ruling party.
Okay,
So
well, thank you very much, because Dillon is in studio now. We got to go. We'll take one more call. If that call stay hanging on. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We want to say to all of you, it's the best time to be part of Spoon, share the show. I'm going to take the last call. Your name and where are you joining us from? Welcome to Spoon.
Hello?
Yeah, welcome to Spoon. Your name and where you joining us from? Hello?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Franklin Wishy, and I joined you from Morovia, Liberia.
Yeah, I do like what I have. Make it quick. Let's go ahead. Welcome to the show.
And we want to encourage you to continue to stand by the Liberian people.
Thank you.
And I pray that God will guide you and protect you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. All right. Please make this thing slappy. We got dinner in studio. We got to go. It's 8 o'clock in Liberia. Make it quick, my friend. You're the last quarter. Your name and where you joining us from?
My name is Edward. I'm calling from Iowa. What did the economic say last year to the CEO? That be on the member is there like. Say you win, they say the very win a re-election. Because they said like up to this time without getting nothing good going on. Why you really come and say?
Well, we got to win. Yeah, what am I coming to say now? I mean, that's a good question.
So most of the lawmakers and the senators saying the Guineans took our border, but I John Viata up to this time they facing all kinds of things. But in our regime.
But don't you think it's fair, because I really gotta go, but let me quickly say, don't you think it's fair to give them the chance that they can explain the position on this thing? Because I don't think it will only hunt the president and the executive, it will hunt all of them.
How long? The senator have part to play. The senator can call this, the president.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to Abraham Darius alone. Thank you, my friend, for calling. We have the Senator of Moserado in studio. We'll be bringing him on. It's time for us to rock and roll. Like I promised you, this is only the one-on-one program with Dillon and I. You know, the rest of the guys have to come and do post-analysis, but it will give us the chance to ask all of your questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Spoon Network, the Spoon Talk, we want to say welcome to another edition of Spoon, special edition with the Senator of Moserado County, Abraham Darius Dillon, on this beautiful 10th day of April 2026. Happy Mother's Day to all of you from our entire staff, our entire network, our entire panelists. We say Happy Mother's Day, and we are so happy to bring in the Most Honorable Senator Abraham Darius DeLong. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be here. Happy Sunday, happy Mother's Day. So my mother, your mother, and mothers around the world.
Is there any way you can make the necessary adjustment that our heart remain the same? Because you're the boss.
I gotta go. Or let me
just adjust the camera, maybe. We just
no. I'm using my phone.
Okay, right there. That's good.
Better. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't want you to see my microphone the way you can block for yourself. Let me take my microphone from the stage.
Yo, listen, I got a new one, by the way. I got a new one, and guess what happened? It will have spoon talk over it. It's good to see you, DeLong.
I got to order that microphone on the go.
No problem. Are we having a delay? Are you sure you okay? Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay. All right. I just hope that we don't have a few seconds delay. Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Most Honorable Senator Abraham Darius DeLong joining us from the Republic of Liberia. It's always good to have you, my friend. Let's rock and roll. We have but 2 hours to do this program. You got to celebrate Mother's Day. I do. Trust me, I'm getting in more trouble right now by being on the show, but at least you understand it's you. Whenever I call your name, I'm safe. So thank God for that. So let's make this happen.
Tell it, my happy Mother's Day for me.
Okay. She watching. Then let's get into the conversation. We'll give you a chance. If you accepted our invite, a lot of national security issue, a lot of things to be discussed in country, outside of country, the border issue, the electricity issue, the economic issue, the demolition, the poverty issue, and every other thing. Most recently, something that just happened last week. The acquittal of Samuel, or how you call him, D12. That's one of the biggest trending news right now. But you spoke to it. So we'll give you a chance, do your intros, take as much time you want, and then we'll jump into the question and answer. Welcome again to Spoon Talk.
You are very fired up. Go ahead. I'm here. You do have. Go ahead.
No. Talk about dinner though. Let's get to this Summit thing. Let's just walk our way backward. You spoke on it, and I will upload the video. You talk about feelings. You talk about settlement. Maybe the prosecutor team went into this with something that you have not seen or experienced since you were at the Ministry of Justice under T.C. Gould. And what led you to say that? I'll play the video later on, but let's hear your first response to this. You said that on another talk show.
The video was not about the Samuel 12 case. It was a general discussion about prosecution. And I think it was actually about discussing Yeke and the issue of due process and prosecution and all that stuff. And I was bringing to bear my experience from my days at the Ministry of Justice. When you go to court in a criminal case, the facts proven beyond reasonable doubt can earn you a conviction. It also depends on the understanding of the jurors, especially in a criminal case where there is a trial jury. If it is a bench trial means it's only the judge. And that determination mostly is determined or left to the defendant to say the waive jury trial. They only want a judge, they only want a bench trial. But where you have a trial jury, you have two kinds of juries. One is the grand jury that does not sit in the court to hear the case. The grand jury is a group of people who review what the government says it has as evidence in an indictment. When the government draws up the indictment, they present it before the grand jury of the county in which the case is being prosecuted. And when the grand jury reviews the indictment and what the government presents as evidence to convince the grand jury to agree that a crime has been committed and conviction is possible, that grand jury sitting will return what they call the true bill. A true bill means the grand jury agrees with the evidence they have seen, and the grand jury believes that the government has a case by the indictment and the evidence they have seen. Then you have the trial jury, which is selected during the trial or before the trial commences. That way you have the jurors. That trial jury now comes to review the facts of the evidence presented. And after all the presentation, counter arguments, and what have you, the trial jury is ordered to the jury room to come back with a verdict. They can come back with a guilty verdict, not guilty verdict, or hung verdict. And then the judge, on the evidence of that, based on that, the judge will give his final ruling or her final ruling. And if they are guilty, the defendants can take appeal if they want. But if you are acquitted, it is a huge challenge for the government to take appeal when a defendant is acquitted by the jury.
So no, you can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
I had to mute myself for us to get better audio. So sure. I will mute myself so often when you are speaking. Let's play exactly what you said, because I got so many things out of this.
When I made reference to my being at Blessed Ministry, I was trying to say something. You can go to court and win case by your feelings or sentiment. Nobody will go to court and say, I feel that they messed up for me. That feeling you carry to court, it can win. How you feel about a person, it can win case. Evidence proven beyond reasonable doubt, especially in criminal case. That one can win case. That one can convict people. Let me repeat. I know you're looking at your time. Myself will extend the time small. Because me, I like to converse, have that kind of conversation. Anytime people carry feelings to court, or partisan mandate, or how you feel about the person, or your sentiment perception, you can win case. The evidence.
So Delon, we went out there after the case, and prior to the case, though, listen, information from our sources, and someone let the cat off the bag when we're having our Friday show. But we knew that Sam Ato was going to walk. We knew at the time, 2 hours into the final decision, it was 7-4. One person was hanging. But Sam Ato walked around 6, 6. And when I received the message, and I follow up to ask question, Delon, our sources told us that the justice ministry, the prosecutor, the team said they were not fully supported. Delon, you work at that ministry. If that is true, whether it's 100% or not, but hearing that financially, what kind of support for this case?
Well, it's news to me. I heard the Solicitor General. Look, let's put this thing in perspective, and I will speak from experience, from my prosecutorial experience from the Ministry of Justice when I was there. You can see somebody shooting somebody. The person is presumed to be innocent until the court declares them guilty in keeping with all of the processes laid down by law. You can see somebody shooting, And even the person could be declared not guilty. Not guilty, for instance, if somebody kills somebody and they still charge the person with murder. Murder is tough, a difficult thing to prove because there are plenty of elements that will determine murder. Somebody has to plan to do it. They must have the motive to do it. They must have malice. They must be premeditated and all of those stuff. Just because somebody kills somebody is not automatic murder. It could be manslaughter. But if you charge the person with murder in that instance, and the elements of murder cannot be proven in court, just because of that charge, the verdict could be not guilty. Does it mean that somebody did not kill? Somebody did kill. Does it mean that somebody did not die? Somebody did die. But the charge that was put on the accused person is the reason why, by law, the person will be declared not guilty. So it's not all acquittal means the person did not commit a crime. So in the case of the Justice Ministry, from what you are saying, I haven't heard that they were not hugely supported. It's news to me. But because we heard the Solicitor General very, very upbeat many times saying that these guys will go to jail, the evidence is strong, they are confident, and they are upbeat about it. So I don't know what kind of support, if it is financial or moral or whatever support. I don't know what kind of support you are talking about. That you say the soldiers at the Ministry of Justice are complaining. It's news to me. We'll find out later.
That they were not fully supported. They were talking about financial resources, the declaration of evidence, one of which I can say to you, Delon, because you are a senator, you may speak to this if you like. They couldn't get all of the documents from NSA because they were under national security. That weakened their argument from that point as well. What's the use?
So if that is the case, then the prosecution did not do itself justice, because you must have your watertight evidence before you proceed to court. Once you are proceeding to court, in this country, sentiments can play, and to the point where sometimes we rush to take some actions before we go look for some other things. We're quick to arrest people in this country. Look, investigation sometimes is painful, it takes time, but by the time something happens, everybody, the person must be arrested, the person must go to jail, blah, blah, blah. And when you run on that kind of public or crowd without standing your ground because of your professional knowledge of the issues and of the processes, just because somebody is accused of something, arresting the person should not be the first result.
Let me, do you think, I'm sorry, Chief, I got to push you on this. Do you think this happened only because we are talking about CDC number 9 player during the regime time, Simon D12, former finance minister, that you think, because what you said is like maybe the government rushed to even...
No, so I say, if what you are saying, that your information is that government sources, prosecution sources are saying that they did not get the kind of support they needed, especially with the kind of watertight evidence document that they needed from sources like NSA or Ministry of Defense. If that did not happen, then the government did not cooperate with the government in terms of the prosecution. And let me repeat, it is what you're saying, and that is how I'm answering. I'm not suggesting that it is what it is.
Correct.
But if it is what you are saying, then it is probably because we should never go to court without the watertight evidence. Nobody should rush us to court. Look, there's a maxim in law that set 10 criminals free than to convict one innocent person. 10 criminals free out of doubt than to convict one criminal or one innocent person. Because the conviction of one innocent person is also a heinous fundamental crime. So the maxim in law is that where doubt exists, where evidence is not strong, even if you believe that the person committed a crime, but your evidence is not watertight, it's not strong enough to convict them, they will walk. Then to convict an innocent person. Yeah. That's the maximum of the law.
Let me go by your maxim that you just speaking of Senator. Do you think everything you know, since you've been following this case, Samuel Tuer should have been found guilty?
Look, honestly, having followed this case, I haven't gone to the court one time. I just see releases, promotional stuff coming out of the court from both parties and all of that stuff. I have not examined the evidence. I haven't gone to the court. I didn't go to hear the final argument. I don't know what kind of evidence the government had. But we relied on what the government, the state prosecutors believed that they had to go to court. So if the news you just releasing that there was not much support or collaboration or cooperation to provide stronger evidence, then it becomes troubling. I've said, and let me repeat, whether it is my government, this government, whether it's future government, nobody should go to court based on feelings, sentiment, or targeting. You must go to court because a crime was committed. We have evidence to convict, sufficient evidence to, and we can prove the evidence beyond reasonable doubt. Then we'll go to court. And also, we must also state that service or justice is not only when conviction is returned or obtained. Justice is the opportunity to prove the person guilty or for the person to prove that they are not guilty. Justice has been served. It's just that in our country, once they say the audit in their place, then everybody they're corrupt already. Once they say the person is accused of something and taken them to court, especially a popular person, the person is already guilty. If Samuel Tuer had been found guilty, that witch hunt. Samuel Tuer is not found guilty. The court system is weak. We can never get it right in this country.
Senator, do you think the government decision now, how big is this win for CDC and how big is this loss for the government?
Well, no, the government did not lose. Except if people want a particular person in jail, then that's not justice. That's targeting, and that's my view. And I hold that view. That's my personal view, and I hold that view. The government did not lose. The government alleged that $6 million were used, and the usage is not clear. Personal diversion. Did the government prove that case? Yes. How? People were convicted. 3 out of the 5 convicted. That means the trial jurors believe that $6 million cannot be accounted for by some means. 3 out of 5 is a huge victory for the government. I would not be sad because Samuel Tuer is declared not guilty. I'm happy that the government proved Samuel Tuer then. Samuel Tuer did not deny about $6 million. Let's get it clear. Samuel Tuer did not deny about $6 million. The government said $6 million was used, but it was diverted. Samuel Tuer said no. And the team, the court defendant said no. The $6 million was used for national security purposes. So the government did not lie. The government did not tell story about its $6 million. What the government in the juror's mind when it comes to Samuel Tuer did not prove that the money was diverted. So because Samuel Tuer is declared not guilty, does that mean that the government lost?
I mean, Delon, everybody was trying to get the big fish. The big fish in the room was Samuel Tuer. The anacuda, the shark was Samuel Tuer.
Yeah.
You know that.
Right?
Yeah. Standing for, well, that's standing for. How many people in Liberia know about standing for? You know, but my issue.
You don't need to know the defendant popular to determine justice. The defendant was a ranking government official.
So my question remains. So Senator, my question remains the same. How big is this for the opposition CDC and opposition folks that Samuel Tuer, amongst them all, won this case? If you want to put your political hat on.
It is a victory for them. It's also a victory for the government and victory for the country. It dispels the initial rumor or speculation that government was witch hunting and that the system does not work. Once government wants you behind bar, you go behind bar. Samuel Tuwe won't go behind bar according to the acquittal verdict. That means the system is working. That means government can take you to court, you can win government, and government can proceed to other issues. So it's a victory for government, it's a victory for our system, it's a victory also for Samuel Tuwe who is acquitted today.
Try to educate our audience here. The argument that, well, the prosecutor can come back, take an appeal, or use those as taking an appeal to the Supreme Court to drag Samuel Tuwe back in this case. What say you?
Well, there are 3 persons declared guilty. They have the right to appeal before the Supreme Court. I would like to see the caption of the appeal. If the caption of the appeal carries the caption that was in the case, that was in the lower court, to include Samuel Tuwe and the other person, let's see how the Supreme Court will rule. The three guilty persons have right to appeal. The Supreme Court can review the appeal and affirm the judgment of the lower court. And the people that are declared guilty can go to jail and also do restitution if that would be the final judgment of the lower court. Or the Supreme Court can review the legal files, the records from downstairs, and decide to reverse the judgment of the lower court and order a new trial. The Supreme Court can review the files and even modify the judgment for or against the defendants that will appear before the Supreme Court on appeal. But the state essentially cannot take appeal. The state essentially cannot take appeal.
So what would be your advice now to the rescue government?
On what?
On any other cases they're bringing forward against.
Continue to prosecute, but lessons should be learned from watertight evidence and what have you. This case should not be the reason why we drop the ball on prosecution. Prosecuting people to account for the public stewardship of public office was one of the commitments we made to our people during the campaign, and we have not dropped the ball on a prosecution. Like I said earlier, does not mean, and it means speaking from a completely non-sentimental position, non-partisan posture. Prosecution does not mean guilty by all costs. Prosecution and justice means you have your day in court, the government accuse you and the government can prove that you're guilty, or you can prove that the government case against you is not true and you can prove that you are not guilty. That's justice.
So openly, we're going to move on. Samuel Tuwe is a free man. He's not guilty in this case. You, Darius DeLon, Senator, there's no question that Samuel Tuwe is not free.
So like I said earlier, Samuel Tuwe is not guilty. I want to see how the state can take appeal, which seem legally impracticable. Except, you always get some information. And it's a new indictment coming up. We were in the government, we can't even know what you can do.
Let me ask you about this new indictment, which thank you for reminding me. Then we'll leave the legal issue. We got so many things. Ladies and gentlemen, share the show. We have Abraham Darius DeLon, the senator of Moserado County, as our guest.
That's the same thing I have with the Yeka issue,
Yeah, but we're going to bring out Yeka because we heard you talking about Yeka. We'll deal with it. $21 million rent subsidy case coming up on Samuel Tuwe. From my sources, the letters will be going out today. Those are the asset recovery in Vatin to investigate them on this $21 million issue. Is the Minister of Commerce, the former Minister of Commerce, Mawani Dees. This Samuel D. Tuwe will be called. Wilfred Bangura, the Deputy Minister of Administration, will be called also. A lot of people, almost 8 of them, will be called this week. They will be served the letter. I can confirm, right? I'm not privileged to show the letter because that's not what I would do. The guys have to do the job first. What say you now? Just yesterday, Samuel Tuwe not guilty. Then this week now, they're going to grab the man and say, can't answer to money. I mean, don't you think people considering it now as a witch hunt? Should the government ease off? Or what you think? Yeah,
it should never be witch hunt. Look, let me tell you this again. I will continue to say it because for me, I'm always calm. Justice is about what the law says, not who the law says. That is why justice is blind, or should be blind, because the moment justice begins to see, the tendency to intimidate justice, the tendency for justice to favor, the tendency for justice to fear, very likely when justice starts to see. And justice is about what the law says, not who the law says. If the state has evidence that you committed a lot of crimes, the state should never shy away from indicting people who the state believes committed crime against the state, and the state has evidence to prosecute, no matter who is involved, because justice should be about what the law says and not who the law says.
So you are running with that again, guys. You got to find us online. You got to find us on Support, on Facebook, on YouTube, right? On Spoon, on Support, on Fabric. We are on Voice of Liberia, likewise relaying all the program. Catch us on one of these radio stations. You will listen to Senator Abraham Darius DeLong. So my thing is that DeLong, the political message out there now, everybody's seeking a political interest. Just yesterday, Friday, Senator walk. Then Monday, Tuesday, you're calling the man for investigation again on something similar. Because Senator's argument would be, I was authorized to give $21 million to Commerce. I gave $21 million to Commerce, or whatsoever the amount is. Don't you think we are pushing something here that will send a bad message out to those that are hanging on the fence and Liberians? Again, I want you to be, I know legally you have experience, but the messaging politically entering into 2029, you think it served the rescue government right though?
Since 2024, people have been talking about 2029. So 2029 will always be on people's lips, no matter what you do. Look, for some of us who are in the politics, we are in office to do our work. You do your work, you say you're doing it because of 2029. You do your work, you say, hey, 2029. I mean, 2029 is on people's lips, no matter what you do or say. But does that stop you from doing your work? No, it should not. If Samuel Tuer, if the government has 1 million cases on anybody, including Samuel Tuer, I will encourage the government to proceed. If we can win those cases, fine. If we can't win those cases, fine. Justice has been served. Let me tell you something. Ostanton, speculation, rumor, and false accusation has tainted almost everybody's character in this country, especially in public service. We have the tendency, and I'm a victim, and I'm also not free of that. Once in the government, you corrupt, you can steal, you rob. Everybody is generally rogue because people are not being prosecuted, proven guilty, and sent to jail to serve their term so that the sheep can be separated from the goat. We all used to call everybody in government corrupt. Now everybody calling every office in government corrupt. So if we don't prosecute people, and if we don't allow the law to take its course, they think about speculation, false accusation. People. Now, you see what happens? Innocent murder case, Samuel Tuer is free. If we bring another indictment on Samuel Tuer or leave it hanging, who knows? Samuel Tuer will be free for another indictment. And then he just becoming a free man, and then we have been proven to be falsely accusing people. How long can we carry on? But you know, when things hanging over your head, I don't care what you do, that speculation, false accusation, perception that you corrupt. I prefer that I will go to court and clear my name than for certain things to be hovering over my character through my life.
So real quick. We are spending almost 20 minutes on this. Real quick. Do you think Samuel Toy is free? Was he free? Or do you think he was a willing participant? No, from the entire story, yes.
The court, the verdict says he's not guilty. I respect that.
Okay, but do Darius, they don't think that Samuel Toy had anything to do with 6.5 million?
What the state prosecutor Samuel Toy for $6 million. Samuel Toy did not deny about $6 million. Samuel Toy said it was used for national security reasons.
Do you believe that? Do you believe it?
Did we prove it in court?
Do you believe it? Because it was one of our messages out there, that we ran with this story that they ate the money, they lied. Do you believe
no, we didn't talk about. No, I don't remember us talking about $6 million because this $6 million came.
Yes, we did during the election time.
I would go for the investigation of the $25 million mob exercise money. I would go for a lot of other things.
Okay, but not the 6.5.
Yeah, and people were making comparison with the Brownie Samoka case that Ellington gave instruction and you said no. Ellie gave Brownie Samoka instruction and you said no. You said there's a material difference between the Brownie Samoka case and the Samuel Toy case. When you work, whether for government or private sector or for yourself, when you take pay, okay, so let me limit it. You work for government, like the army people. Once you take pay, your salary that you take becomes your personal money. When you take portion of your personal money and put it in your susu for rainy days ahead, that is not public money any longer because you already work and you took pay and you took part of your pay, you put it in the susu for rainy days ahead. No president of Liberia has authority over that money. So even the president of Liberia granted authority to Samoka as Minister of Defense to use our money. Samoka should have said no. That was an unlawful, illegal order because that was not public money. In Samuel Toy case, he's arguing that public money was used, but it was used for national security reasons. I don't know, and I'm not sure whether the court or the state presented contrary that the money was used for national security reasons or not. So there's a material difference. The money alleged to have been used by Samuel Toy, that's state money. The money that Brownie Samoka used was not state money. No president of Liberia has had authority over private money to give instruction to a government official.
Well said, but do you think Samuel Toy should have been found guilty?
Come again?
Do you think Samuel Toy should have been found guilty? That's my question.
I said over and again, I did not see the evidence. I did not follow the case. I was not even at the court to listen to the final argument.
Was Samuel Toy right to disburse payment as Minister of Finance to any entity or ministry?
As Minister of Finance, you follow what the budget says, and you follow what the paper trail, voucher allotment, and all of those. You follow them.
What question in this case set now for Gafwa and the rest of the finance minister that come thereafter?
Well, know what you're doing. Know what you're doing and keep your evidence. Know what instruction to take if there's instructions. Know what money you're disbursing if there's disbursement. Ensure that the right financial paper documents are available, public.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Abraham Darius along. They're going to be a 1-for-1. We just close up on the Samuel Toy legal battle. Again, we can announce that yes, this week, letters going up from asset recovery for the $21 million rest situation. You will get the full information. I am not sharing the information, but yes, indeed, Samuel Toy, Mawani Dees, Wilfred Bagura, and the rest of them that took part in the rest distribution money. Whether again, just wait. But the indictment will come later, but letters will be going up for the full investigation. We are pleased to announce that Abraham Darius is CS Senator of Mosurado County, one-on-one with the CEO. Let's bring in the next one, Yeke Koruba, our Senator DeLong. What say you about the Rick Monroe and how Yeke was expelled? Whether he's expelled, why the justice in chamber is not making any decision. Help us understand, where are you with this Yeke situation, sir?
Well, the House of Representatives, like the Senate, has authority, constitutional authority, to discipline one of its own, including myself as a senator. But they are laid down rules to follow. In disciplining a lawmaker, the reliance is Article 38. If you have Article 38, I want you to read it because there's a huge consequential sentence in the article that I want to emphasize on. If you have the Constitution, Article 38.
Senator, I don't have it right now. I don't have it. If you want to read and explain, that would be better, or send it to me. I will put it up.
Okay, sure, people following, and I wanted to look at Article 38 of the Constitution of Liberia. Article 38 of the Constitution is very, very clear. Article 38 of the Constitution says, each house shall adopt its own rules of procedure, enforce order, and with the concurrence of 2/3 of the entire membership, may expel a member for cause. Each house shall establish its own committees and subcommittees, provided, however, that the committees on revenues and appropriation shall consist of one member from each county. Now, here is where I want to emphasize. All rules adopted by the legislature shall conform to the requirements of due process of law laid down in this Constitution. The source of the authority of the legislature, each of the houses, to adopt their own rules is Article 38. Well, Article 38 gives a huge caveat what that rule must contain and how to apply the rule. All rules adopted by the legislature shall conform to the requirements of due process of law laid down in this Constitution. The due process is not the one laid down in the rules of the House. The due process is not the due process laid down in the rules of the Senate. Due process is not the due process laid down at the Election Commission during electoral issues, during hearing of electoral issues. Due process of law is not the due process laid down at the Labor Ministry during labor-related hearing issues. Due process of law is due process of law laid down in this Constitution. And the only authority that can interpret what a due process will satisfy is the Supreme Court of Liberia, in keeping with Article 65 and 66 of the Constitution of Liberia. So in the exercise of the authority to expel a member, once the member is suggesting that due process will not follow and runs to the court, and the court says, stay further proceeding until we review what our due process is being followed. Once you ignore that, that's problem. So it is my view. Thank you. There Article 38 is on the screen. And the closing sentence is what a lot of people will always ignore. And this closing sentence is very, very strong.
So let me hold you that. Thank you very much, Ian. Thanks to Phoebe Heron, who doing our research, sharing this to us. All rules adopted by the legislature shall conform to the requirements of due process or law laid down in this Constitution. Due process or law laid down in this Constitution. Senator DeLong.
It is a due process laid down in the House rule. The House can say we have our own rule for due process. No. The Senate can say we use our own due process. That due process, it must conform to the requirements of due process laid down in this Constitution. And once that due process is not as required by the Constitution, the only authority of the three branches of government that can say it is so or not is the Supreme Court of Liberia. And when we respect the rule of law, governing under the rule of law, when the court speaks, whether we like it or not, we are under obligation to abide. That is why the House of Representatives has not smartly declared a vacancy to the Elections Commission, even though almost 30 days or a little over 30 days has passed since they took an action to expel Yeke. I want to make it clear I did not come here on this topic in defense of Yeke. For me, it is my business as a national leader for us to always be law-abiding. The law will not always favor us, but the law is the law. That is why the House of Representatives has smartly not written the National Elections Commission to declare a vacancy in District Number 10, because the House knows that the court has authority to determine whether due process of law was followed or not. The Supreme Court cannot tell the House not to expel a member. It would be infringing on an authority granted by the Constitution to the legislature. But the Supreme Court can determine whether the processes to expel were in conformity with due process of law laid down in this Constitution.
So let me say this, you guys are just joining us. You're asking for the law. This is not the long law. This is the thing that is inscribed within the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. And that's what makes it so important. You're going to enjoy this conversation tonight. We're going to have a lot of stuff that you want to take home today with Senator DeLong. This is exactly what Senator DeLong, read the last line, okay, the last sentence right there, all rules. The Senate, the House of Representatives, all, and DeLong. Again, I want to keep it up. Can you again speak to this? Folks just joining us and they're asking which law, which constitution. Let's give it back to the most right Senator Darius DeLong. Senator?
Article 38. Article 38. After the Article 38, the first sentence there authorizes and gives the authority to each house to adopt its own rules of procedure and to enforce order. The closing sentence and can also expel member. The closing sentence of this Article 38 that gives the authority to each of the houses to adopt their own rules, that closing sentence says something. And before I read that closing sentence, when you pick out the Bible, it says John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he sent his only begotten son. Period. You have not concluded John 3:16, because it concludes by saying that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have something there. You understand? The mandatory instruction of Article 38, that's the guiding principle on which the rules must be adopted and be governed and applied, especially where a fundamental constitutional right will be deprived of somebody. The right to a job, life, liberty, privilege, or any other right. It is in the Constitution under Article 20, which laid the foundation for due process. So Article 38 closes by saying all rules adopted by the legislature shall conform to the requirements of due process of law laid down in this Constitution. And I'd like to always emphasize, the due process of law is not the due process of law laid down in the rules of the Senate or laid down in the rules of the House. It is the due process of law laid down in the Constitution, this Constitution. And when due process is said not to be applied, the institution of government, the entity of government, the authority of government to determine that is the Supreme Court. When you go ahead and act outside of the court instruction is troubling, and that for me, that's my position. I don't care what I get with reason.
People, I think you're opening eyes tonight, right? Because people saying that, right? The guys then they're going against the Constitution. They get their own Constitution, and that's scary.
No, you can't have that.
No.
But stand up. Lawyers who watching will tell you there's a fundamental principle in law that what the law does not grant, it withholds. You think the law engage, you can do it, you can take it. In this case, the law is instructive. It is instructive, strong enough to say your rules will authorize you to adapt and to enforce order the rules you will use to expel members, it must be in conformity with the requirements of due process laid down in this Constitution, not in your rules. Not the due process laid down in your rules, the due process laid down in this Constitution. And say another Constitution, this Constitution.
So, Senator, let me just move back a little bit with Article 2. Not under the same 1986 Constitution. You know that very well. Any law, treaties, statutes, decrees, custom, and regulations formed to be inconsistent with it shall, to the extent of the inconsistencies, be void and of no legal effect. The Supreme Court, pursuant to this power of judicial review, is empowered to declare any inconsistent law unconstitutional. Senator, educate me here. That's your area. Talk to me, please. If you have to.
But I think anything the Constitution says, it will make law that conflict the Constitution. That law is declared under the Supreme Court. That law is the law until it is challenged. We need to make that other part clear. Just because
are your colleagues then? Are your colleagues like the Speaker, the Chairman, James Collier, and all of them? I'm going to call their name. Are they willfully bending the Constitution to suit the decision to expel Yeke?
No, so they are before the court. The fact that the House has answered to Yeke's complaint before the court, the bill of information. Look, before any authority like the court or a tribunal or an administrative institution takes a matter to hear where it will issue instruction or judgment, the first question that court asks itself is, do I have jurisdiction over this matter? And that jurisdiction should not just be jurisdiction, it should be competent jurisdiction. What does that mean? If I owe you $10, you take me to the criminal court on that issue, because owing is that issue. If you took me to the criminal court must first ask itself, do I have jurisdiction, competent jurisdiction over that issue? The answer will be no. Then you go to the debt court. If I stole your $10, I can't take you to the debt court, because if the debt court heard that matter and issue judgment, that judgment is not enforceable because the debt court has no competent jurisdiction over criminal matter. So here's the answer here. When the Supreme Court, when a matter like a prohibition or bill of information goes before the court asks itself first, do we have jurisdiction over the matter? Once the court answers that question, yes, it resumes jurisdiction over that matter and issues instruction. That instruction, whether you like it or not, you honor obligation to obey. You go to the court and say you don't have authority over the matter, or I was doing the thing in the right way. So yeah, I was doing it, and I want you to see it and let it be clear that I was doing it the right way. That is respect for the rule of law. Now, the fact that the justice in Chambers took seize of the matter and asked the House to send its response within 10 days in keeping with the legal practice, that means the matter is fully before the court. That means there is no legal vacancy yet until the court decides.
Yeah, but then let's move on. This is very important, and that's why we need to do this often. The court told your colleagues, the House of Representatives, pause. Don't do anything. Come and see us. They don't. Why they went ahead to do exactly what they did? To expel Yeke, as they said. And it's not the first time, Dylan. Don't you think this is troubling for our country? That's why I said these guys have their own rules in rule.
They can answer the question, because most people, I'm sure that some people first are reading Article 38 way down today. I see some people already confessing that just read that first part. Each house has authority to obey their own rule. They both get their own rule. No, everybody don't have their own rule on their own. There's a guiding mandate there, and caveat and limitations with those rules and how the rules are applied when people's rights, fundamental constitutional rights, will be affected. You understand? What some people ask me, due process is a process that hears before it condemns, and or before it acquits. And due process is where there is a complaint. Something happened, somebody is complaining, and there is a complainant, and there is an accused person. That accused person is notified that there's a complaint against him or her to come answer to, and that person is afforded and given the right to be heard and represented by lawyer to produce witnesses in their own defense against the complaint lodged against them. And when the person is represented by lawyer, the person lawyer must speak, whether it is before the National Election Commission, whether before the Labor Ministry, whether before the Senate, or whether before the House. Here is what the Supreme Court said about legal representation. In the Greenspan case, versus the House of Representatives for contempt. But the emphasis here is about due process and legal representation. The court said, the respondent, I'm just sending it to you, so you read it before somebody started reading my own. I'll send it to you. I'm sending it to you right now. You have it. Please read it if you have it. And then we can expand on it. You are muted.
I'm putting it up there on. I like the people to see it while we read it.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait. They don't go ahead. Make it.
Yeah. So okay. So the court said in the Greenspan case and the House of Representatives for contempt, the court said the respondent House of Representatives, by disallowing Councilor Pearl Brown Boo, petitioner's legal counsel, from making statements in defense of her client, petitioner Grace Tickman, at least, or by restricting counsel from speaking openly and unrestrictedly in the quasi-judicial sitting in defense of her client, the accused Greenspan. That process stripped Greenspan of her fundamental right. That's the Supreme Court. The court further said proceedings conducted under circumstances tending not to afford an accused, in this instance, Greenspan, full adequate opportunity of legal representation. A decision concluded therefrom adjudging an accused guilty of legislative contempt, as well as the sanction imposed as a result, are untenable. That's the Supreme Court. Because the person having lawyer, you say the lawyer when I speak does not due process. You can say, yeah, I want to due process, lawyer can only care, but the lawyer can talk. The Supreme Court said, no, that's not legal representation.
So they don't. The people are saying, right? And I'm going to say this, no offense to you, but what you are saying is eye-opening. But it looked like your colleagues not getting it, or they are getting it. They choose just to be against the lawmakers. You will not say that. No, you. Let me clear this.
So because you know me, I'm not about let's. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And that's why you almost say going to let me say my own out there. You say your own, let me say my own. Right? It's like James Collette say he's a lawyer, he's an attorney law, he went to the school, he didn't pass the bar. We got Doyen in the House of Representatives, T5. The man that you whip, and you call him T5. You guys are afraid now, no problem. Right? You got the speaker that talked to the University of Liberia. These people know the law and the Constitution. Why are they doing this to Liberia? And not only to Liberia, why are they doing this to this rescue government?
When during the process when the speaker asked, we heard that there's, you get any document from the court? That question alone was sufficient to have that proceeding. Or we heard that the court sent something like, Madam Clerk, you get anything from the court? That means the speaker and the House of Representatives recognize the authority of the court to determine whether due process is being followed, and that the court can put a stay. The Supreme Court can put a stay. Let me break this down. The Supreme Court cannot put stay order on lawmaking. When we have a draft law, say nobody will pass on Broad Street when the law passes. In the process of making that law, the Supreme Court, nobody can go to the court and say the legislature enacting one law and that law will be passed. Lawmaking is a constitutional function of the legislature. So when the legislature is making law, processing a law for enactment, the court cannot prohibit or put a stay on that. After the law is passed and somebody is injured by the law, or a group of people are injured by the law and they challenge it before the court can do judicial review of the law and declare whether it is consistent with the constitutional laws of Liberia and uphold it or declare a portion that is inconsistent or the entire law not involved because it is inconsistent with the Constitution. But expelling a member is a constitutional authority granted to the legislature. The Supreme Court cannot stop that, but the Supreme Court can intervene in the processes leading to that expulsion authority. And when the Supreme Court issues an order based on the requirements of due process that can only be interpreted and upheld by the court,
then why couldn't you help these guys? No. But why couldn't you help them? The issue is that it's not about the law. It's about destroying the Constitution. And to be fair with you, let me put this up. The people want to read this. You're reading it, but let me put it up. This is about Grace Pound, the case, 2016. Very clear. You spoke about it. They can take the picture and read it themselves. This is about Grace Pound. It says, so, whether in court or in the legislature or anywhere, right to be represented by counsel is a constitutional fundamental right. No rule is above the Constitution. The law.
That's the court. That's the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was interpreting the closing sentence of Article 38. Your rule, you can define your own due process by your rule. You can define your own due process at the Elections Commission because you have hearing, quasi-hearing authority. You cannot define your own due process at the Labor Ministry because there's a labor hearing officer there who can hear cases of labor related. You can define your own due process there. Where rights guaranteed under the Constitution will be affected, that due process must be the due process of a requirement. It must conform to the due process requirement laid down in the Constitution. So a very critical part of due process, for lack of better word, is to be represented by a legal counsel. And that legal counsel is not a statute. The legal counsel must speak. And if you read that Supreme Court opinion ruling in the Grace Pound case, that when you put it up again, that one word I want to pick up from there. The word, if you go down there, it says, by the legal counsel must have unrestricted. For the legal counsel to speak must be unrestricted in a quasi-judicial hearing. To expel a member is a quasi-judicial hearing. To hold people in contempt is a quasi-judicial hearing. If the person is represented by a lawyer, that person's lawyer must speak. Defend them, represent their client adequately. Let me repeat. I did not care to defend yet the issue about the law. What are you going to go by in all that business? The issue of the law. This thing, when it's happening, you have voice to speak. If you don't speak, when the time comes tomorrow and happening to another person, you know he's speaking, they say the time was happening yesterday, where were you? They hot follow his rules. They get a required number. They are called due process and expel a member. We have nothing to do with it. But when it crosses the boundary where it will infringe on the Constitution and give us generally a negative image for lack of respect for the rule of law, it takes courage to speak.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we have Abraham Darius alone. Our guest is very interesting. We ain't going anywhere yet, right? We ain't going anywhere yet.
I'm gonna go.
But so, Chief, let me move. What do you think happening here? A lot of people blaming rescue because of these missteps. How can you speak to them, right? They say Joseph Walker called for the removal of Yeke. They're breaking the laws, and up to today, the justice in chamber have not even put out a decision yet. They don't clear the air. This thing is killing the rescue government. The interpretation now that you are giving, that we got people that are saying that they stand as a regime chairman and speaker and deputy speaker to do and carry on what President Bouaka said they should do, if it is true. The image, the optic, they don't speak to it.
Chief, now you will see I'm political. Joseph Nyema Bouaka, President of the Republic of Liberia, whom I support fervently, did not put gun to any lawmaker hand. Look, the Constitution gave us tenure. That's the reason why our job is protected constitutionally, to give us some courage and independence to do our work for our people. When a lawmaker, especially opposition lawmakers, say that the president made the president move Yeke, it's laughable. A president voted, a president signed. I don't hear that in.
Okay, you clarify about the president, but let's talk about the optic here for your rescue government. A lot of people disagree with this decision. How can you sell this to them? That, I mean, you are taking your action. They don't hold on 1 minute.
I will leave Yeke alone.
Go ahead.
I will leave Yeke alone. The people point there will decide. Yeah, the people come in there, if they see me again, they will decide. It's simple. When you hold elected office, they put you accountable that the people put you there. If they move you for the right reason, they move you for the wrong reason, it is their judgment. That same judgment they use to put you there, that same judgment they can use to remove you.
So you think the rescue dropped the ball on Yeke?
No, the House of Representatives, because a majority of them want.
It's only rescue.
But how many opposition do you have? Yeah, I agree the uptake. I agree the uptake is on us.
Yes.
I will not run from that. But let's be man enough to look in the House and see who are the opposition or independent people there. That don't subscribe to the rescue agenda.
You don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it?
No, you don't have it. I will not name one of them because all of them are Kali. So let's forget about those ones. Even the people that call it. Look, you got James Davis saying that he's minority chairman. Then they say, my man, can't vote. He's voting against his own minority member. You can call about to remove it. People like you represent the Debbie. The message they put 200,000. Say can't talk message like AR. They say we'll remove you. The other way will remove you. Remove Yeke, the man remove Yeke. Then you say we got it, we didn't get it. But they don't do. In the back, what are you saying now? What are you hearing? How can this be stopped? Prophet Key, he cost you, he cost me, he cost Joe, he cost everybody. It reached to the government time, Chief Justice said the man cost my money, going anywhere with Nahin. They put him in jail. For one. Let's talk about women pay. For whatsoever reason. Minister of Mines and Energy, they kick him out in less than 2 years. Let's start with Amin Modal, former chairman. Let's come down to Mike Japater. Mike Japater, no job today. I heard that the president called him, the president promising something prior to leaving the country. That's a good news. The president called him From the executive marshal, I received that information. Maybe they will give him something for him to keep quiet, so the president make him feel good. But Mike Jabate was frustrated recently. Let's talk about so many people down the line.
So what is about Wilmot Pay, for instance? Wilmot Pay took a job knowing that he would be serving at the pleasure of the president. Doesn't the president have authority to sack people or replace them or relieve them of their job?
The manner in which, if you ask me, and I like this conversation because I know some of the things that Wilmot Pay today has no job. It was 140,000 allegation that came by way of Sekou Doucle, Louis Tamba, saying that Wilmot Pay took people money to go do mine contract in Nimba County, but he didn't give them the lesson. These are allegations. The president was mad, the president, so many other reasons I'm not getting into. But they don't do. They uptake, they don't. And you can jail Prophet Key, the rescue government that the man fought for because of causing man. The same causing man that brought you to power. That you can remove Yeke. They don't you think it's a problem for you and all the rescue uncle and aunties out there to defend the world?
Let me repeat. I wouldn't do anything to about Yeke or Prophet Key. But if we want a society where people can just insult, let's have it. The reason I don't condemn these people is because I didn't condemn them yesterday when they were doing it to other people. I'm not I'm not near India. I'm not no perfect person. If I'm far from perfection, but I got small conscience to know that the thing I condoned yesterday, if it's happening today, to me now, I can only cry about it, but I can't. Look, Yeke, apart from Yeke's statement about the border and all that thing, and I don't want to go into all that. What did Yeke do that we know? There's some people watching now from the diaspora, America, other places. They bought plane ticket. They flew to Liberia. They abandoned their original district of residence, and they went and registered in Yeke district only because he was insulting President Weah. Today, Yeke is insulting us. Those people are crying, they're calling Yeke crazy. Yeke fans base flip. We the rescue people who vet today, citizen happy. Yesterday, citizen was vet, we were happy. Yeke fans, Yeke stay in the middle. Apart from that statement he made in a view which was unrepresentative of an official of government at his level. But what Yeke doing here that nobody knows. So it was all versed with Yeke. Then you wait for election. But the House has authority to remove one of its own. And if they remove Yeke in keeping with the rules and the requirements laid down in the Constitution, that's it, because the House has authority to discipline and even expel one of its own. I am not arguing against that. All I'm saying, due process laid down in this Constitution, not in our.
Thank you, Senator. Let's clear this something, because I see people sending me this message. They don't. You want to read it? Professor Dr. Councillor Arthur Johnson. It just came out. They know everything. In Liberia says Governor Liberia can appeal. They didn't say this though. Can you clear this? Because Arthur Johnson is running with this one. If this is his page, acquittals of the defendant, this country, and I mean, they are watching. But can you speak to this?
I know they're watching, but I think Arthur Johnson put that stuff up even before I came on. I think he want to edit that, because nobody has said that the government can take appeal from an acquittal verdict. Said that the guilty defendants, the convicts, are the ones who can take appeal.
Thank you. So thank you very much. It's very good that we do that, guys. We, again, like I said to you, thank you for joining us. Continue to share the show. Let's make progress. We have Abraham Darius along here. We're going to move on to other issues. Then let's talk about the border. The border issue, people say, let's be patient. Let's wait. Let's hear exactly what will happen. Soft diplomacy, hard diplomacy. They don't. Where are we with the whole border thing? The Guineans stay in Liberia. You can talk it, they say they removing him. Amara Kone spoke about it. Your colleague, Nyam Twine, said that, listen, Amara should be investigated, Delon. Although that was a whole uproar in your chat room. You, on the other hand, you said something similar, though. Let me play exactly what you said for the folks to listen.
For them. And I know for a fact that, and people who know, the strength of an army is not just the number of persons in the army. You can enlist everybody, the entire population of Liberia that is of age, enlist all of us in the army. If there is no logistics,
the sophistication of the army.
Forget it. And in this modern day and age, you need technology,
right?
Intelligence. Your arsenal, not a football team.
Struggling.
Not a football team. The kind of weapons, military grade weapons that you have. How strong is your naval force? Do you have an air force? We are a country that don't even have a presidential jet. We don't even have a helicopter. Our army, our police, all these things. I know somebody following now. The first thing they say, you reduce your pay. So we can borrow things. Everything that's shot in the country, the law make up pay. And must be reduced to certified. I can understand that. So the fact that I'm talking about these things, like housing, logistics, military grade weapons and all this stuff, should suggest that. In fact, I am a member of the Defense
Committee
and Security and Intelligence Committee of the.
That's where I want us to take it from, Delon. You are a member of of that committee, national security, defense, everything. Talk to us.
Yeah.
Where are we?
So, as chairman, apart from being a member of the Committee on Defense, Security, and Intelligence, I'm privileged to be the chair of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, making me the third ranking official in the Senate. And the government is pursuing diplomacy. We can understand the impatience of our people. It is the maturity of the government to take the route of diplomacy that has caused no loss of life between Liberia and Guinea at the border. We will continue to pursue this matter. It may seem unending to some people, but there are a lot of back channel diplomacy ongoing. That is why, notwithstanding that the Guineans are still on our territory, there is no hostility at that area. And we will continue to pursue this matter. And we will support the president and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and all relevant authorities and agencies of government related to pursuing the diplomatic and security-related posture of on this issue, and the matter will be resolved without one bullet or without one soul being lost. As a result of hasty action some people will wish we will take, then they turn it around for politics.
Let's talk about you, Chairman on Foreign Affairs. What is happening?
Yes.
How many different engagements you know of concerning this border issue?
We are engaging. We are engaging at all levels, and as chairman of Foreign Affairs, privileged with this information, it will be immature for me to divulge. Maturity and responsibility is imposed upon me not to divulge when it is not time to do so. The president, the foreign minister will do so when the appropriate time comes. What I can openly divulge is that we are engaging diplomatically, and that is why you see there is calm. There's reduction of number of Guinean soldiers at our border. While we acknowledge and painfully acknowledge that they are still there.
But we cannot prove reduction in the Guineans number though, because we are not privileged to go live. Our people, how can this climb on freedom of the press if we have to go there and report this. They are saying it's national security issue. Don't go there. From the Guinean side, they're allowing people to go there. From our side, you're saying we shouldn't go there. Why?
So, Chief, I've been in politics and having interviews, especially since 2006. I've been privileged to be interviewed live on BBC, VOA, FR, and interviewed by you. The thing I want to tell you, that get it from me, I don't care how you twist the question today. That's what you can do. You tell the question so you put it that way. No. I have responded to you, but it's not the kind of response you want. I have said to you as Chairman of Foreign Affairs and a responsible member of this government, of the government of Liberia, we are engaging. I am knowledgeable about what the engagement is as Chairman of Foreign Affairs.
So, Delon, the people want to believe you, but they are saying, no, that's not true. I'm not saying that. Read the live feed. They want to believe what you are saying.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, do you know how long it's been? You know when they started that Guinea took over our border? Do you know when?
It's about 2 months or so ago.
It's past 2 months, Delon.
That was it's about 2 months or so ago.
You want to tell the Liberian people to wait for self-diplomacy and this thing will be resolved. How long do you think?
Even the war in Iran.
We're not Iran. We're not in Iran.
No, but let me answer that. Even the war in Iran that started with war is going back on the table of diplomacy. So we prefer.
Are we in war? Are we in war? Are we at war with Guinea?
There is an aggression on our territory, and we use every diplomatic means available.
Are we at war with Guinea?
There is an aggression, or I would say an intrusion into our territory, our land. We are concerned, and we are doing everything to free our land of the intrusion.
Are we at war with Guinea, sir?
There is an intrusion on our land.
So you cannot say whether we are at war with Guinea, though.
We are not at war with Guinea. There is an intrusion on our land, and we're using every means. We are not at war with Guinea.
No, thank you. Thank you for answering that. How much have we spent, if you can tell the Liberian people, on this Guinea border issue, the amount? How much?
No, I will not avoid that. I'm not privileged to that.
Okay.
I know that we passed a supplementary budget recently and provided $1.5 million to enhance our security and diplomatic needs.
Would this be resolved, Senator?
Yes. I know that for a fact.
If this is not resolved, do you think it will be the Waterloo now for the President, Jose Yema Barker, and you, government, that you're drag this thing to 2029? I'm not going to tell you to tell us about national security things that you're not allowed to, but then all you're saying it will be resolved. But there it seems to be that it's not. People are not seeing it, Delon. How can you tell the people?
because back channel diplomacy is not normally seen.
What folks are what the government that's speaking to this, updating the Liberian people exactly about the happenings though. Instead of just telling every journalist say do not.
I can take that. I think we need to regularly update our people. From the government standpoint, the people will believe their government. But when the government is not regularly updated, then the people have the tendency of speculating. I can take that.
So what's your message to Jeremy Pierre or the executive on this one?
No, to us as government. So it's not only to the Minister of Information. The Minister of Information reports what the government decides or what the government does. So it's not only to the Minister of Information, it is for us as government. And we'll take note of that, and you'll see some improvement, hopefully.
Do you think that the land will be returned back to Liberia, to the Liberian people, or do you think that's it now? They will say
that's our land.
Sierra Leone took the people and say, "You leave from there." Give the land to Guinea. You think that what will happen?
No, I don't think so.
I want to have you on record though. Do you think?
I don't think.
Senator, let me ask this question because we're going to cut it and keep it for history. Do you think?
What do you call me for?
For our next debate, our future debate, do you think the Liberian people will get back their land?
Yes. In the case of Sierra Leone, they didn't just get up and say, "Oh, Guinea, take the land." They follow some processes. They didn't just wake up and say, "Oh no, the land for Guinea." We are following processes. We are using diplomatic channels, and the time is coming when our land will be returned, or we will repossess our land without one bullet fired and without the loss of life or the spilling of blood between Liberia and Guinea. It is the wish of some Liberians for politics. Everything in the country now, it was shooting at that border, it will be about 2029. Without shooting at the border, we use it diplomatic means, it's about 2029. We can understand the politics. But when you are a responsible government, you do things responsibly.
So again, thank you. But do you think, on the record, if this government failed to get back, repossess our land, what will be the message 2029? Since you are talking about 2029,
well, say 2024, you're talking about 2029.
Yeah, we're talking about 2029. It's their relation of duty, though. That under the commander-in-chief, Joseph Yema Boakai, the land was taken away by the Guineans. We walk into 2029 election, the Guineans still have the land. Then what? What would be that message?
For 2029, son, you're talking 2029. We are working to repossess our land.
All right, Dylan, let me hold you on what happened. Dylan, I know you called on the show that evening and you speak today, but I have you now in studio. Why you left? Are you satisfied now? Did you get all what you were asking for?
Spencer, the budget is a book forward projection, programs and projection. When we collect revenue, then what we will spend it on. A paper. In 2024, there was this huge dark cloud that hung over, especially the Senate, that we grabbed that book, we took out $20 million from Israel and we came home after the passage of the budget. The budget, a book, a paper. But people ran with, oh, they took $20 million from in the budget and they came home, as if to say we took cash from in the budget, just the budget as cash, and we carry home. And it was a blanket accusation on people's character. And you know, for me, I'm not perfect, but I like to try to do things meticulously. What happened in 2024, we passed the budget, and it was later understood that the House did not send the budget when they transmitted their communication to the House, to the Senate for concurrence. And after we did the concurrence, then the cleaning up of the budget period before it went to the executive marshal brought a whole character loss on people. Oh, they took $20 million and carried home from the budget. They altered the budget. We had to do a whole investigation to find out what. So this time around, and thankfully it's my own government, before people think it was about hate for George Weah. It's my own government. So I wanted us to be very, very meticulous and careful. When the communication was read from the House, informing the Senate formally of the passage of the budget for our concurrence, I noticed that after the reading of that communication, the protocol would be that the secretary will read the budget from the House, so we know what we are about to concur with as is, or whether to make additional input that will require a conference committee for the both houses to agree on one budget. So I asked the secretary to read the budget from the House, and his action alerted me that there was no budget from the House at the time. And that was my uproar. And I said, then we have to wait until the House send the budget, or I want to see the budget from the House to know what I'm concurring on, whether we agree with the version or whether we're out of the track, and then we require conference committee to harmonize the two versions from the both houses so that one budget can go to the president for approval. And that was the uproar for about 5-10 minutes. And when I was not satisfied that there was a budget from the House, I left. My understanding is that when during that period after I left, the Senate budget or the budget was brought and it was read. And so my colleagues debated the issue and they passed the budget, and that satisfied what I was demanding.
So you're okay now? You're okay with everything? Because Prince Moise said you were there, he thought that you had received the House of Representatives, documentation or communication. So is everything resolved now?
So what I had was our version. I wanted to make sure that the House had that same version, or the House version is what we're going to be concurring with, and it will be making additional input. Senator Prince Moise was right, because we all sat together and did the budget from the House side and from the Senate side. I am saying, for instance, thank God you brought the budget bill. The budget comes from the executive, it is draft. The executive has all the time in the world to put the budget together. And when it comes to the legislature, we have time frame under the law to pass the budget. And then sometimes it's a rush period and all that stuff. So the executive sent us a supplementary budget of $45 million with an addition from the World Bank of $8 million, which took it up to $53 million. The draft budget, especially during this period with the border issue and other security-related issues, the supplemental budget has $600,000 for the AFL for recruitment. Now the $600,000 is not the AFL budget for the year. The AFL budget for the year is over $18 million. This supplementary budget was to add up. So we had decided when Senator Prince Moise said, we all sat together, we review the budget, we were deciding will we appropriate some of those monies to go to AFL, increase AFL money, those additional money for health workers volunteer to get on payroll, teachers volunteering to get on payroll, and all of that stuff. I was keen on protecting the character and image of the Senate so that we'll do the right thing. When I left, Senator Snow called me, one or two other persons called me to tell me that, the budget was finally there. At that time, I had already left. More than 10 minutes, I couldn't see it, so I left. So I'm satisfied with the work my colleagues did, yes.
Briefly, quickly though, have you guys resolved the issue between Yan Twine and Amara Conner about his remark that was made? Concerning AFL.
Everybody is protected in Chimos what they say. You can prosecute, you can punish somebody for what they say in Chimos doing. That Friday exchange, the president is speaking as a senator on an issue. You like it? Okay. You don't like it? Okay. But you can't punish them. But I can say to you, we have had more fiery things among one another, and the next morning we are smiling, walking together.
But
as senators.
But that speaks to the fact that if anybody speak on certain issue, rescue will come after them to silence them. That's the message I went across. It just came from Yeke. Amara spoke. You say you spoke about the thing, but nobody touched you because I think you rescued Uncle. So maybe you got certain privilege.
No, it's not about having Senator Conner has certain privilege. The same right Senator Yan Twine has to disagree with Amara, call for investigating Amara. Is the same right Amara has to say what he said in chambers. The Constitution is very clear in Article 42 of the Constitution. You can't You can query your colleague for views expressed in camera in the exercise of their duty as a senator. Sometimes elements around the world, arguments and debates get heated. We have never hit on one another. I don't remember in the Liberian Senate history where we hit on one another in camera because we don't let this other view.
You just wasted hot tea on each other, that's all.
Yeah. No. Why you like that? Hot tea will not have. Hot tea will friend somebody. Yeah, but you see, in the heat of the moment, those things flare, and then at the end of the day, we all come, we understand that it was in the heat of the moment. We are mature people in there. One of people like it, not they call that place the House of Elders. We do our thing, we visit one another, we say our thing, and we move. Senator Jan Toyin and Senator Amara Kone and all of us, we are cool, trust me.
Yeah, but they don't.
No, and let me say this. I'm not an authority or the authority of the Senate, but who's going to investigate Senator Amara Kone for his views that he expressed in camera? Are we going to sit down and agree for the constitutional privilege of a colleague to be abused? No.
Well, we just saw that from the junior house. So anything.
What you saying that you say in the house? We're talking about the House of Elders.
So, but let me ask you though, with that, and then talk to us about this information I received. When you guys were called back, that you guys should include $5 million for Children's Hospital and buy the land from Eric Nangbe. Can you talk to us about that information? Because I'm going to run with it tomorrow. But some senators stood up and said, no, we will not include $5 million in this supplementary budget to buy the land from Eric Nangbe in Fishtown, somewhere around there, because the government wants us to. Is there any truth to the story that the government will move money around to buy land from Eric Nangbe?
If you look in the supplemental budget, I think we provided for some $500,000 to secure land for the construction of a Children's Hospital. Who the seller will be, or who the seller is not yet, I don't know. The Minister of Health will determine that and report to us in keeping with our oversight.
In your discussion, you won't tell me you missed that one?
No, I didn't miss it. I just told you we put $500,000.
I'm calling the seller name, Eric Nangbe. The reason why I'm bringing it up, right? The people complain, and Eric, we know Eric, right? And the nation got to hear this one, that Eric took them off that land. They were there for 20 years, some more years, with the intention that this land would be, he will resell it to Lebanese or the government. Now, in the supplementary budget, we see money being identified that is going to, I've not spoken to Eric yet, I will. But then when we tie that with all the arrangement, and we tie that to what you said about people land being taken away, let's take a listen. Let's take a listen to you and give you the chance to really explain this, because it's kind of scary that, let's listen to you, Dylan.
Any structure that is in clearly defined alleyways, and the government want to use those places to open it to gain access to the people and the public for safety and development, break it down.
So then let's tell the whole thing. You know Eric, I know Eric. If you don't,
you ready for drama now?
No, I know I'm ready for drama, man.
You ready for drama now? Hey, not drama down that video or the boom on up there. You ready for drama?
No, but on a serious note, though. Are we giving Eric Nangbe $500,000 or $5 million for that land that he took the people from? Because again, the court ruled in his favor. Can you talk to us?
So I just said to you that I know we put in some money in a supplementary budget to prepare the construction of a children's hospital for our country and our children. It is something that it is part of the agenda of the president. We support it. And we'll do everything we can to ensure the construction of that hospital, especially that will be also aided by some of our international partners. I know that. Where the land will be, who the seller will be, is not before me yet. So I cannot run with a speculation. Regarding that video you played, dramatize, play it again. Let me tell you what actually. Play it again. Shane, like it, play it again. You muted.
Yeah, sorry for that. Let me finish with the land issue. I'll play the video again. You say you don't know, but if it is true that the government is buying that land, that Eric Nagbe will keep the people from, right? Because it's his land according to court document. Do you think it will be right for rescue government to buy that land from Eric Nagbe?
So you want me to consider now and start?
Is that something you support? Because you all had this conversation, and I'm sorry that you missed it, or you didn't get it, or you choose not to tell.
No. Anybody who told you we had a conversation, they should have also told you my position clearly.
So what's your position?
No, the person who told you, or the group of people who told you, they should have told you, and they're always telling you, they should have told you why they can give you half information.
But you talking in terms of thousand right now. Just tell us your position. Do you think it will be?
So my position is clear. We want to build Children's Hospital. The Ministry of Health will find the property for projects, and then we'll know the location of the property.
If that location is the Eric Nagbe land, will you support it?
If it is the Eric Nagbe land or any other Liberian land that is not in dispute at all, I will consider.
If this land that Eric Nagbe took the folks from because that's his land, the court awarded him documents, say yes, you can evict them. Will you support that land? The government should buy.
So we want to build. When you do this, and people think we're evading questions, when you get too hypothetical and you want somebody to say yes or no, and you put a question. So my answer is simple. My answer is simple. The government is seeking to build a children's hospital. The Ministry of Health is seeking a property for that purpose. And when the time comes, we'll know where. And sometimes these controversial thing and optic not good for the government. So I don't think the Minister of Health or the government of Liberia will go use that very property. I'm not sure. I hope they don't do that before me.
Will you support it though? Will you support that they buy the land from Eric Nagbe?
The very place they took the people from that is in dispute yet?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I would. And that was my position in the room. The person who told you should have told you. You see, as a ruling, as a member of the government, I correct things from inside. I don't come outside all the time.
So you want me to say the truth to the Liberian people about the person who told me? Nobody tell me. You know, I'm always in your chat. But they don't.
No, you're not there.
But they don't.
You're not there.
You guys are 30. I'm the 31 person in there. But
no, you're not there.
Let me say this to you. Yes, indeed. You spoke about this, and you couldn't commit that they should buy the Eric Nagbe land. I should let the Liberian people know that. I don't know whether you will change your mind later, and that's why
I won't. No, I won't. As a member of this government, people will expect that we should be also every day talking about our government. Our role is to be in there as a team to speak to the issues, correct the issues, promote the issues, and once in a while, if it requires, we come out and speak, especially when something is grave enough that to affect the country. But people think as a member of the ruling government, with a privileged asset to the president of our country, I'm supposed to go to the president, sit down with him, we talk national issue, their county, really, I just went to the president, we discussed it, we finished with it. No, that's childishness. That is why people say they are not talking like before. Of course. Now, you see, you brought piece of the information about this land issue, and you left a critical part about it that involves me and what I did in the room. You see, your real self is what you do behind closed doors, not normally what you do when public looking. So what I did behind closed doors to put my feet down is what you should have said that, okay, I always in your room.
I'm the man asking the question. I got to enjoy myself, you know. And I would tell the people the truth, but I got to enjoy myself. It's always good. We got about 18 minutes with the senator. We'll not take any question in 18 minutes. It will be 10 p.m.
So let's talk about that video.
Yeah. But let me get my announcement quickly. We're not taking questions. It will be 10 p.m. Liberian time, and that will be 6 p.m. my time. You can catch catch us on Spoon Talk tomorrow with everything that we just discussed with Senator DeLon. Again, thank you for watching. We got about 18 minutes to go. DeLon, let me play the video. You want me to play it again, right?
Yes, please.
Any structure that is in clearly defined alleyways, and the government want to use those places to open it to gain access to the people and the public for safety and development, break it down.
Go ahead,
I
Senator.
can repeat it. Any structure, one that is the biggest and finest building in this country, that is in alleyway, clearly defined alleyway, that are blocking access to the communities for development, for safety. In clearly defined alleyway, the government want to use those alleyways to open them up to gain access to the people, development, the safety, break it down. You see, the problem in our country is sometimes we gotta be.
You don't make this argument during CDC time. You're beating on CDC when they were breaking homes down, DeLon.
Show me one.
And that's no.
You always got video. You always got video. Show me one.
They don't wait.
Yeah.
You were beating on CDC when they were breaking homes down. My argument, and what I'm strongly going against you with this comment, or we can be serious, DeLon, as a sitting senator, especially in your county, Musarado County, what have you done for those people that are losing their homes, knowingly or unknowingly?
Now you see,
wait, let me finish.
I mean, you have plenty of time to dramatize it for months.
I have it now. Let me finish. Let's talk on the team, my man.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
You myself from Musarado. Let's talk on the team.
Yeah, go ahead.
Musarado,
you from Musarado or you from Yaponton? Where I can go?
Let's talk, man. You myself from Ghana, say beyond MP, and then you want to say you from Musarado. But make your point. Senator.
So that's the point. That's the point. You have not heard me say demolish people property on private land. I have made a case in session and on radio that in fact it is annoying for courts to delay some of the land cases that breed in some of this confusion. It is unfair for people to build on a property that they believe they own by document. Nobody stopped them. Nobody prohibited them. They built on those properties. They lived there for more than 10 to 15 years. And one day there is a court order or somebody come to claim it. It my view that it is what they call reverse possession. If you own a land and you see somebody putting cornerstone there, and you can't tell them, say the land here for me, stop. You carry them to lawyer for the lawyer to write. You carry them to court for the court to put a stop order. And the person freely built. They live there for years. They born children, and then one day somebody come with one deed for nothing for the land. And says, I get an order deed, I'm going to court on my property, and the court issue eviction order on those people. And then such judge should be impeached. I've also said that on private property, we, the government, must redefine some of these laws. Because the court too is contributing to the problem. Somebody go to court, put an issue on a land, and the court take eons, yes, to even come down with ruling to determine who owns the property. And after 20, 15 years, there's one court judgment to say all the people were living here before the year illegally. But if you were building on that property and the owner or somebody came and claimed it, and they took you to court, and the court put a stay order, and the court delay, even the court delayed to render judgment, and you still went ahead and built in defiance of the court order, if the person who gets the judgment from the court wants a new structure or a clean land, and they want to demolish their property, it is up to them, the private issue. I'm saying alleyways belong to government. There are plenty of communities in this country stand on one meaning There are plenty of communities in this country, across this country, where people can even access vehicle in the community. People want build, and they got to put their building material down the road. Somebody else or the children can carry it inside by wheelbarrow. There are plenty of communities in this country where people knowingly, deliberately build in alleyways, where ambulance can go in to rescue people, fire service can go in. My video was very, very clear and pointed that any structure, whether it is Darius Dillon structure, look, it wouldn't develop this country. What good is it for some of us to just be in office in a developed country for fear that when you speak courage, then you will lose election? That's why the country is like this.
You will not be senator for life. So they will
exactly.
Election.
But 1 minute, Pastor. I won't be a senator for life. That one is true. But when I'm former senator, I want to see development that the country is benefiting from because I was senator. Not to meet the country like that, leave it like that, no matter how long you stay in office.
So, Dela, let me ask you a question, right? To the Hotel Africa issue, right? It's very important for us to do because have you been
yes.
there? Have you spoken to this?
No, I haven't been there, but there's some intervention. You talking to me or the grandchild?
No, I'm talking to you. No, he's leaving.
I haven't been there in person, physically, but I made interventions along with the Minister of Public Works and the representative of the district. I called Representative Bernard Benson in my office, and I had conversation with the minister, including Senator Sir Joseph. I called the Minister of Public Works to get understanding as to why they were arbitrarily removing the people from those places without notice. And the minister informed us that the people had prior notice and that they were given some additional 3 months notice. And it was not like they were removing them immediately to say, we're moving you today. Your move today, we're breaking your places down. And the people have been compensated. Some people were compensated and stayed there. People have been compensated, and the Minister of Public Works told us, and it is true, that nobody will be removed from over there without having them compensated or relocated. So yes, we intervened, and I made.
Have you seen any money in the budget for compensation?
Yeah, we got money for RAT program, to pay people along the routes that the government wants.
Have you verified that those people received the money for relocation?
I can't say that all of them received, but everybody can say that nobody received.
But they don't. It's right there, District 17. Why couldn't you go there and do a town hall with them?
That's not the issue. The issue is I intervened and there was intervention, and they know because the community came to me. The community came to me. The representative I sent for him, he came to me. I intervened with the Minister of Public Works along with Sir Joseph. That's what representation is. Is that everywhere our physical presence must be?
They don't. Ain't no, listen, they don't. So, District 17, you will go there and say, my people, you'll vote for me. But then, when they have issues, you will sit there and say, they must send a representative to you.
No.
Why? No. Let me finish, Chief. Let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
District 17, where they were in the heat of the demolition and the people were crying. Don't you think you should have gone there instead of waiting for a representative? Or I mean, it's a good thing that you work in the back though, but you're present.
There are many places things that happen. We have gone there, nothing happened. Your presence there can mean a lot at times, but what good is your presence when nothing will happen? But if you intervene, even if you physically go there, but you intervene and they know that you intervene and something happens, which one do you prefer?
If you ask me, I would do both. If you ask me, I would do both. I would do both.
I would do the one that is more preferable and beneficial to them.
While speaking with the minister and the other folks, I would make my presence known. I would go there and
the community has leadership. The community has leadership. And we intervened through the leadership. In fact, there's a transport union. There's a transport union that was already also affected. They came to me. They wanted relocation of their land to buy land somewhere. And that thing we don't put on camera. But the transport union in District 17 the Federation of Transport Union sub a branch in district number 17. They know what I contributed to them getting another land. Did I put it on Facebook? Did I have to put it on radio? No.
So we got 3 more questions quickly because we got about 8 minutes left. It's good to have you always on Senator DeLong. I'm going to keep the last question, the library that you taught my heart. We got to talk about that briefly. But let me bring this one. What say you about this Putu Mountain back and forth between Planet One and AMR Sherry Abdallah? Can you speak to us? What do you know? Well, what's the problem here now when you talk about LeBron owning a concession?
So I would not speculate. If you brought this question, yeah, apparently you got an attitude of keeping people on your show. You bring it in and now, well, we say the last time the last more we got you too. You're not going to get me a jet. So the Putu mines stuff is like these concession agreements. The executive has all the time in the world to find investors, negotiate with the investors, terms and agreements, how many times they can look at drafts together and change wordings and figures and this and that to satisfy both parties. It can take them months, it can take them years to go through all of these negotiations and eventually sign those agreements. And then when they send it to the legislature where ratification is required, then they ask the legislature to do it in a week or 2. After taking a year or so to do all these negotiations and go back and forth, travel to different countries and things to get things together, then they bring the whole bucket document and the legislature has a week or 2, and then someone is even tied to the progress of the budget. Putu Mine is right now with the executive. It is a function of the executive to negotiate and enter into agreement. And when the executive brings it to the Senate or the legislature for ratification, there we will make our input. I will hope that there's an opportunity for Liberian-owned companies and Liberians to take advantage of this opportunity. Now that we have one mining concession to give away now, it's not something that we inherited. It's not something that we got more years left on. We have an opportunity to find a new owner of Putu Mines. I can only hope that we will deal with Liberians. Dangote is the billionaire, richest African man today because the Nigerian government aided him from scratch to do his business, put up guarantees, put up pre-financing to do his business. Today is a richest man in Africa. The current president of Nigeria, Tinubu was governor. Before he had money, he worked with his government. The government helped him to grow his business. We have an opportunity now. We cannot blame Firestone. We cannot talk about B. Martin. B. Martin is gone for 25 years unless there's significant reason to review and change things. But we have one on our hand now. Oh, let's naturalize our resources. Let's get lifting here to Liberians. We have that opportunity now. And I hope the executive is strongly considering that. If they don't do so, there must be sufficient, tangible, very credible reasons for not giving it to Liberians, for me to decide to vote yes, to ratify for a foreign company. And I'm putting myself on the record.
Have you spoken to the president of the Senate, the vice president, concerning Putu Mountain? Because there's nothing coming to you or the House of Senate for ratification. There's nothing coming.
If the deal is consummated, maybe it doesn't meet the threshold for Senate ratification, we still have the right to ask questions. But the president of the Senate, the vice president of Liberia, has said nothing to the Senate as an institution. I think he's still submitting to the president who assigned him that duty. But for now, he has not briefed the Senate, and there is no formal or informal briefing to the Senate institutionally, and not to me as an individual senator. But
so
I'm looking forward.
It's not coming back to you.
I'm looking forward to the vice president of Liberia, in whom we are pleased, and the president places a lot of confidence. We're looking forward, and he's pushing liberalization and Liberians to take over the economy. I want to see this very vice president give an opportunity to a foreign institution opposite what his speeches are.
Did you follow his interview on ELBC that the recommendation was made to turn this thing over to Planet One?
If the recommendation was made to turn it over to Planet One, I would want to see the justification, but then it doesn't jive in line with his express or public statements that it's time for us to empower Liberians. Because this is an opportunity.
We're going to let you to maybe dig into it the next time we can really have a conversation on this. Delon, how is the LDC situation in the country today?
It's embarrassing. I said it a few days ago. I put out a post. Interestingly, when LDC was...
I don't want to remind our audience, I didn't see your post, but let me just play this for you.
I knew your...
The first thing that changed when Boaga became president is that George Weah is not president again. That's number one. Number two, Julius. Number two, LDC is not everywhere, but the places LDC supply current, plenty of people don't remember when they put a generator on. In fact, no home panics when LDC goes this time. In fact, everybody almost sit down to the same place because when LDC goes, they come in almost right back. If you say nothing has changed, go put your generator on if it will start immediately. When you use generator 1 or 2 with a hard starting, and 2, people used to buy LDC current and at the same time buy fuel for the generator. They used to use the generator more than the LDC because LDC was not stable. Now, that fuel money that you're not using again, that something has changed that you can use for something else. Some people who say they have not changed, nothing has changed, like President Weah and Ellis Cummings and opposition. Thank God President Weah and Ellis Cummings from the Southeast. Let them get in car today from Aurora and go to Maryland and Grand Coulee. If they will not reach today, and if they won't come back, if they don't return today, they will know nothing has changed. Since Boaga became president, the rice price have not gone up, but he has reduced. Since Boaga became president, no Liberian car owner or horse owner have formed queue at filling stations in anticipation or fear that there will be shortage of petroleum products. The product have not gone up, the cost, the prices, but it have come down. Go in America where they're quick to compare Liberia. Almost every commodity price have gone up since Donald Trump became president. Rice price up, egg price up, coffee price up, groceries prices are up. Almost everything prices coming down in Liberia. The only thing we see, I tell people, if you don't change the way you see things, the things you see will not change.
His name is Darius DeLon.
His name is Darius DeLon. I like. Who's that? Clarence Jackson, right? Is that his name?
Julius J.
Julius J. I like Julius J. I never met it. But anyway, DeLon, you going to take this back today? LDC stay stable in the country. LDC stay good.
No, but the time I had this interview, you didn't play it. Because the time I
didn't see it.
Exactly. You did not see it deliberately. I'm a propagandist like yourself. When I had this interview, nobody could challenge the truism and the facts of what I said at the time. Now that LDC is very terrible and embarrassing, I made a statement that LDC is embarrassing. And we should do better with LDC. Of course, yes. And when we return, the LDC managing director has to come back to us to tell us, because he told me and the Senate and the people of Liberia that people said LDC is stable because of rainy season. No, it is because of what we're doing to prepare for the dry season, and LDC will be stable during dry season. And now during the dry season, LEC is embarrassing. He will have to come back to face us. But the key thing I want you to leave with, and you know that it is true, that when I made these statements, those statements were profoundly true. So that is why you did not play. That is why you didn't play that video at the time, because it was not to your liking to know that some things were happening positively. Now that it's embarrassing now, then you make it a little. I can't make that statement day before yesterday. No, that's true.
What's the LEC problem here? On the money captain, we had this noise. You know, we talk about bringing Sherry. If the man works with CLSG, he can fix this thing. 6 million a year. They wonder, what's the LEC main problem? What can you tell the Liberian people? What needs to be done?
LEC is challenged. And everything that we want to do to develop this country is tied around energy. In the absence of energy, we'll just be doing bits and pieces here and for impressions and what have you. Energy will open this country and develop this country. LEC is challenged, and as we speak, the power capacity of LEC is so small for the demand for LEC. Without stable, reliable energy power, you won't get big investment company coming here. People can run fuel and generator on concession agreement. For instance, and without trying to back SETI, if you producing steel raw here, and you got to produce your own current and almost everything to produce that steel raw here, the price may likely be as high as the imported steel raw, because the business person has to consider to take out his what he put in there to produce the steel raw. And its energy is a hard thing. So LEC is challenged, and we're talking about almost $1 billion to get LEC across the country and the way we want it.
Do you support the
and the way it should be?
Do you support the president's statement that the demand causing a lot of problem here? Is that the demand is just because no innovation and no money, no resources still on? We need additional power. We need more power. I think the country has about 140 or 150 megawatt of power. It can take us anywhere. It's not going anywhere. One serious company alone that the energy they can absorb, just one serious company. That wattage they mean, that megawatt of power that we have over the whole country right now, one serious company. That's the power source power. So we're talking about money. So we're talking about money. Yeah, the Capitol building consumes a lot, and you guys are not paying LEC. Can you bring us up to date? Are you paying your debts to LEC? Just for one example.
Yes, my yes is not confirming that the Capitol building is paying, but the yes is that the leadership on Nnamdi Kanu Lawrence, with Water and Sewer Corporation and LEC, we have invited them to come do a complete assessment over that building, to put meter there so we can pay. We have said this thing over and again. We are waiting for LEC.
The old debt, before they come, you're still consuming the old debt, What are you guys going to make payment?
Let LEC send a bill. How much is the debt?
They have sent the bill,
Put it up.
I'm not going to put up the bill.
You put it up so I can know that I can push it.
You say you calling the man, so they're writing a letter to bring his debt to you, to bring the bill to you.
Yeah, I'm sure the LEC people listening, and you're right. Look, let me tell you something. In order to hold people accountable, you got to start with yourself. In order to say this thing what people do is not right, yourself should be doing the right thing. That is why the leadership of Nnamdi Kanu Lawrence as pro tem of the Senate. If you ask the managing director of the Water and Sewer Corporation, we have invited them to come do a complete assessment run of the building so LEC can, Water and Sewer can supply water to that place with meters so we can pay. We've done the same with LEC. We got to be responsible government entities. I said before that all of us using current, including any public institution using current, LEC current and not paying, LEC should shut them down. It is not even contempt for LEC to cut off us if we don't pay LEC current. Well, how much are we paying? Where's the bill? So good question. I will ask to find out how much we owe LEC so that we can pay LEC from our budget.
So let's squeeze in the two questions, Dylan, please. Guys, thank you for following Dylan and I, through this program. It's been a wonderful one. Dylan, are you concerned about the comeback of the opposition, George Manawer, and the rest of the opposition members? Are you guys doing enough, to tell the Liberian people George Manawer shouldn't come back, and if he does, he shouldn't be elected? What's the message here the Liberian people should have about the rescue government?
I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about what we do every day that will lead to that time and that decision. You see, when you opposition can talk. I was in opposition before. Opposition role is a spot. Anything that is not right, to take advantage of it and say that one is not right. Government should have checklist of things to do. Every time you check list, you do a checklist. You check one box of your list of things to do. You reducing opposition talking point. Now when opposition talk, then you respond. Opposition talk, then you respond. You should have a checklist of things, a bucket list of things to do, and you check.
Do the rescue government have checklists of things, sir?
Yes, we do.
What are some of the checklists?
For anybody, the roads, we are facing the roads. We are facing the roads. I told you, in keeping with the president's vision, energy and roads will open this country. You do the roads will make people to eat and live because they will use the road to make their farm. They will use the road to go to hospital, and they do the roads. We are doing the roads, so you don't hear opposition talking that talking point.
Yeah, no, because it's a common thing. Every government talk about road. The road to RIA.
It is not us. The roads that we're doing.
You talk about road. RIA road that you travel on when you're traveling outside of the country and going back to Grand Bassa and other places. It's a shame. 3 years in this government, the RIA will stay there. What's the story?
Yeah, so I wanted to. So let's not run away from that. Let's not run away from the answer that's supposed to get to the prompt question that you asked about whether I'm concerned or afraid about opposition coming back in 2029. What we do will determine opposition coming or not. When I became senator, I was not concerned about 2020 election. I knew that there was election before me, but I wasn't concerned about election. I was concerned about doing my work. I declared my asset, published my asset. First time any lawmaker had done it, I announced how much lawmakers were making. I started looking for George Weah nominees to make sure that we will shake the Senate and open it to the public, and we bring the Senate live. Those were the things that the public started craving for 2029 to put me back. 2020 to put me back. What you do in office will determine whether you will stay there. Now what? Now how you want to be in that office? What you do? The job that people gave you should be your concentration. We were in 2024 and people started talking about 2029, 2025, 2029, 2026, 2029. Like the government of Liberia cannot be in competition with opposition talking point for 2029. We will miss the mark. Our business must be, what are we doing tomorrow to check a list of achievable for the people? Then you reduce opposition talking point. And that's the way I want to answer you.
What have you achieved? What have this government achieved in 3 years?
This country is stable. George, we are the country stable. We are keeping it stable, but we rescue this country's image with our international partners, and we're opening the corridors and doors to this country. That's a huge rescue success. When you're taking a heavy load for deep down in the pit, the energy being used there to bring that thing to surface for people to see what you rescue, it's not especially when people don't see what you're doing down there to bring that heavy load to surface to rescue it. people will think you are doing nothing until it gets up there for people to know what you actually did and the energy that you use to take that thing in the deep pit. This country was declining with our international partners. Some things that were happening under George Weah government, are they happening today rampant? No. We rescued this country. One of the rescue we did for this country is that George Weah is not president. We are doing the roads. We are ensuring that institutions can work without fear, without intimidation. And anybody who's working in government, especially those who have tenure position and constitutionally guaranteed position, if they want to control to anybody else, it's up to them. But this country, nobody can tell you.
You want to say you rescued tenure position? Did you rescue tenure position?
No, that's not what I just said.
I just want to be clear.
I said people are doing their work without intimidation. Anybody who is doing his work, especially those with tenure and constitutionally guaranteed jobs like ours, who feel intimidated to do their work, they are cowards.
Why were you calling cowards? The government removed them. Emma Glasgow, the government removed them. LTA, the government removed them. CBL, the government removed them. We can go down the line. So why would you even mention a tenure position? You didn't rescue them. They should be intimidated because indeed the president can call for the removal. And you would not stop his letter.
Chief Talu, Governor Talu, took a matter to court. Stay order. The Senate refused or decided that we will respect the court. We will not confirm any new people at Central Bank unless that matter was legally resolved. It was Talu who took money and his benefit and withdrew his case.
What about Emma Glasgow? You took Emma Glasgow to court? No. Emma Glasgow was just...
One minute.
I just want us to get fast track because I'm afraid that you're leaving.
Name also I can respond.
I'm afraid that you say you're leaving, so I got to push you quickly.
So, Emma Glasgow was suspended. And there was an acting director who the Senate also decided won't confirm to that position unless Emma Glasgow issue was settled by law, logically. That's what check and balance is about. In the midst of it, Emma Glasgow got cleared by the LACC that the allegations against her were not found to be weighty enough or strong, and so she was cleared. Emma Glasgow resigned. As a result of which, there was a legal vacancy in our position they should not resign.
They don't, Chief. Leave the eternity alone. It's not helping you, bro. Leave it alone.
That's not the point.
We all follow the whole tenure thing. You are not being sincere right now to give this
but because you think it that way.
And by the way, you say Emma resigned, and our man, this former central bank governor, willingly threw the white flag out there, and we're talking about what's the deputy governor name, or what's the woman name? She threw the white flag out there, Yemane Pierson, and you know they were squeezed. You know that. You know
exactly
the position.
That's exactly the point I'm making that you're not picking up. That's exactly the point I'm making that you're not picking up.
Okay, go ahead. Make the point.
The point I'm making that you're not picking up is people should learn to hold their ground. I will embarrass the government. I will hold my ground. But you hold your ground for 1 minute, then later on you resign. Then it means you leave in legal vacancy. The president or the vice president or the speaker or the protest or none of us at the rank in government that we hold is God. We are not Lord and gospel. That is why we check one another as 3 branches of government. When a court checks one of the branches, we are on obligation to comply. But when you, who the injured party, go and withdraw your case and you resign and then you take your considerations, then you can blame another branch of government for not standing its ground because you left a legal vacancy by your resignation. We got to be courageous in the country to stand. Look, we got to leave some precedents. That somebody stood the ground so that this thing was wrong, they stood the ground. We can't do it again the same way. But when you resign, you leave legal vacancy, the legal vacancy will have to be filled.
So Dylan, let's just move ahead because I think you can hear me, right?
I'm hearing you. It's time to go, man.
Yeah, I understand. Let's just move ahead. I just get one more. Then I really want you to talk about your library. You know, it's very important. The library, not for you, it's a public library. But can you clear the air? This is something I came up and you guys were up and down with. Let me play this video quickly, which is the put decentralization. I don't even want to play the video. Costa went after you and Yombi with this thing. Let's just take a quick listen, or we can move on. What's the status now about the put decentralization law, if you care to tell us?
The put decentralization law is passed by the Senate after some consultations. They put the bill, the law is before the House. We're looking forward to when we return. We are resuming tomorrow to regular session, and Tuesday will be our first plenary sitting in this quarter. We will have returned from break. We are resuming work tomorrow, and plenary session begins on Tuesday. We're looking forward to the House concurring with that bill, with that law, so that the president can finally approve it. And I am very, very certain that this time around the president will approve it, because a lot of back and forth consultation took place regarding that law. It's
so we're still going to get something coming up.
Yeah, we're good about it. We're good about it. And Henry,
No, I don't want to bring the Henry Costa on. I will just focus on if we say expecting a result from the put the.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. The Senate clean it up following consultations back and forth, and then it's before the House, and because we're close, so the House could not concur. We're looking forward to the House concurring upon our return, which we are already returning tomorrow, and then we'll send it to the Marshal, and very, very certain that the president will approve it this time.
Let's quickly talk about MedTech. What's the status on MedTech? You guys made a recommendation, sent it to the president. They are operating like how? The whole MedTech story, what's going on? Because the president have done nothing, zero, with the MedTech recommendation from the Senate. And these guys are still operating. Can you bring us up to speed, sir?
The MedTech issue was investigated by the Senate, roughly led by Senator Amara Coney. I was a member of that committee. And Senator Daba Vabla was a member of that committee. Senator Gostin Chie of San Luis County was. Senator Evan Snow was a member of that committee. I think Senator Nyan Tuanya was a member of that committee, and Senator Francis Dopo. I hope I'm correct with all of the names, but I know definitively that Senator Amara Coney was the chair of that committee, and I think we had Senator Emmanuel Lupu as well. And we did a thorough investigation, and we thought that MedTech and CTM, they are bad for this country. But we're dwelling more on MedTech and made recommendation to the executive that has the enforcement implementation power to consider the cancellation or review of MedTech, whether they have significantly performed in keeping with the contract, and that if it is a ground for termination, for us to terminate it. I don't know what CTN and MedTech doing in this country. It's painful. It's painful for us to even appear that it is okay to still be having this institution in this country. It's disturbing. That port, with all of these charges, that won't making commodity or other thing business high in the country. They put charges with MedTech and MedTech doing the function of LRA and getting 40-60% of what LRA is able to get 100%. So you got MedTech got to charge and then get to get a percentage and then add the burden on the business community. And MedTech functions are functions of LRA, and LRA has in my view, and LRA has the wherewithal to do their work. Why is there also?
Yeah. So what are you doing now, Senator?
We investigated and we did the recommendation. It is before the president. We hope that the president can push this thing and let hear from the marshal that we think we'll continue with MedTech. for your recommendation, or will not continue with METEC? I think we need some answers.
Your friend, my friend, passed away in the plane a few weeks back. That's George Solo. Let's give you the chance to address it. He was in front of you for confirmation, going to the first country, but later on, he was sending him to another country. What was the problem? First of all, let's give you the chance to talk to us about George Solo death.
So, may his soul rest in peace. You know, this country, rumors and lies can thrive more than the truth. The late George Solo was nominated by the president to go to Italy as ambassador. Before you send, and people who know international relations and diplomacy, they listen and they will know that this is true. Before you assign an ambassador to a country, you first inform that country to get an agreement. In the diplomatic language, they call it agreement. That country will respond to you, or is expected to respond to you in at least 3 months or so, or on their own terms. Once the country does not respond to you, you make follow-up and they still don't respond formally. Diplomatically, it is a clear indication that it is a no. If anybody send every document in the country can leak, if anybody can show us any form of diplomatic response from Italy affirming, agreeing for the late nominee for ambassador to Italy, if anybody can show any proof that Italy agreed formally for George Solo to be assigned in the country as ambassador, and we did not confirm him, then I think I should just leave the office tomorrow morning. I won't see it. I wish I could see it, but no such thing was sent to me as chairman of the committee of foreign affairs for us to proceed with confirmation proceedings. Every ambassador, I want to expand, every ambassador, I confirm. When I'm talking about the Senate making recommendation to the plenary, full plenary of the Senate, our committee, they got agreement to be assigned to those countries because it is one of the due diligence that we do. If the president nominated Stanton as ambassador without a specific assignment to go to a particular country, we can consider your confirmation because we are confirming you as ambassador. You go sit down to foreign ministry. But before they assign you to a country, that country will have to agree for you to be assigned. In George Solo's case, he was not nominated as ambassador. He was nominated as ambassador with assignment in Italy. And Italy did not respond, so it is considered diplomatically that Italy did not agree. That is why George Solo was not confirmed.
So let's talk about Belgium. He was first sent to Belgium. Why was that changed? Do you know anything?
The president showed me, let somebody show me a letter that he was nominated to Belgium. He was nominated formally, that means officially, before the Senate for Italy. There is no communication before the Senate for Belgium. All these rumors and lies, I hear all that they don't name, confirm a friend, that way.
So you were waiting
to the artist.
You were waiting for Italy to get back to you, correct?
Yes, and Italy did not get back to us through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is the protocol.
Okay. What about Bob Sharif, who was sent to Sierra Leone?
Bob Sharif was nominated by the president. It took us nearly 6 months to confirm Bob Sharif. Similarly, and Bob Sharif was finally confirmed because we got the agreement, and he presented his letter of credence to the president of Sierra Leone, recognizing him as the ambassador of Liberia to Sierra Leone.
Okay. If they don't, it's always good having you to really clear the air. Sometimes we We run with these things, and when we have you, we have to ask you. My last question for today: what's your position on the LTA contract? We have a pending contract, and the upcoming contract that people talking about at LTA under your friend Clarence Massaquoi. What's your position?
Which pending contract?
So we do have a contract with LTA, right? Have you guys the ITIA contract? Have you guys trashed it? What's the status of TIA?
Legally, no, not yet. There must be termination or mutual consent or arbitration or cancellation through the court of law. That's what the law provides.
So TIA is still in force?
Well, TIA still has legal standing.
Are they still operating?
You can ask them. If they are not operating, they can decide whether they want to take them.
Again, that's what I'm asking you. What's your position? Because they are saying they are now.
You are asking me about the status of TIA, and I know for a fact that TIA.
Because Clarence Massaquoi, the chairperson on LTA, they are coming up with this thing. They appear before you guys, and I'll be asking how you call him, the chairman on LTA. What's his name? Your senator from River G, I believe. But let's talk about it. I mean, the upcoming contract that they are pushing. What's your status?
So I'm not sure that I can speak to the status of an upcoming contract when there is an existing one that has not been legally terminated. On mute.
I'm sorry. No, I was saying thank you. I'm not going to push you on it because you're right. We have an existing contract. You said that clear. What did the LIA, Liberal Immigration Commissioner? No, last question. He was suspended. His name is Steve Zacko, your former colleague. And up to now, did you ask question? One of your Liberty partisans, or whatever the case may be, did you ask any question? What's his status? Have you spoken to him? Steve Zacko, he was removed. He was suspended. Later replaced.
Bossman, you not ask the question 1 minute time.
Steve Zacko. I just asked you about Steve Zacko.
No, not tonight. Not tonight. You're not talking about Steve Zacko. 1 minute time. Forget about the party he came from. I know that's my senior party. Steve Zacko was head of the immigration. He served at the pleasure of the president. The president took presidential action on Steve Zacko. The president has the authority to do so because Steve Zacko served in the capacity, in the role where it determined by the pleasure of the president.
We have Senator Abraham Darrell. We're going to say wrap this up with the library proposal that we showed on the show the other day. We presented a great job you're doing when you presented the library structure at Taj Mahal on 12th Street. Beautifully done. A lot of people are asking questions, but they admire the fact that you use the country money given to you to invest in that public library. So we'll give you the chance to talk more about it. And I have no further question. I do appreciate you coming on Spoon Talk. I know that's what we do. We seriously, a lot of people saying well about you, but I want to say to you, Dylan, let's talk and hear more now from you concerning the public library at Taj Mahal.
Well, you know, when we passed the budget in 2024, there's a provision for projects under the supervision or under every lawmaker's office through lists. I heard you many times on this platform say correctly initially that the budget carried $150,000 for each senator and $100,000 for each representative. That was 2024. But what you did not correct, knowingly, deliberately knowing you, was that when we did a recast of the budget in 2024, that $150,000 came down to $75,000 for senators to do project through lists And the 100,000 in the house came down to 50,000. And you know it, but you kept on running with it. Each of them get 150,000. Then I get the money already, even though you knew the truth. So from the 75,000, which was accessed through Liz by law has 10% of that money. And then the money came down to 67,000. And out of the 67,000, we got Liz and the county superintendent to work with Liz to do a library project for Montserrat County, because I don't know, don't remember in my recent memory that Montserrat County, and if not the Republic of Liberia, that in our recent memory that we have a public library. I'm not talking about library at some schools. I'm talking about public library, whether for students or non-students. Once you're a citizen, you're resident, public library that anybody can access. So we thought it was going to be a legacy thing to do. But what we did for transparency, we got it done through the supervision of the county superintendent. I think he confirmed that a few nights ago here. So out of the $7,000 from the contractor that the list brought to us. LIST is the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment, for short LIST, so people can understand. For the thing I call it short Elizabeth, one Elizabeth. The contractor required 10,000 out of the balance 57. Out of the 67,000, the contractor charged 10,000 to do the project. So we're left with $57,000 to do that entire project. So the superintendent has been doing it. It's a huge project. We took it from ground zero. It is not a structure that was existing. We are not remodeling a structure. We are not renovating a structure. We dug the sand to build the foundation to where it is now. 4 huge rooms, an office space for the management team, 2 wild space bathroom with 3 commodes each and 3 face basin, 1 for female, 3 commodes, 3 face basin for female, the same 3 face basin, 3 commodes for male. That would be there. And we're also doing it in a way that it is friendly for people with disability and all that stuff. Yeah, and when I went to inspect the project one time, I saw that they were doing the regular holding time ceiling because that was the BOQ carry because of the amount of money. And I said, no, we have to modernize it. So I took the entire ceiling down for that whole building and got a contractor to do POP to modernize it. That was an extra $15,000 to $20,000 that was spent.
So what to put there? Concrete? What was that? When you said POP,
they did a recent POP stuff, modern POP.
Yeah, why is it called POP, my man? I know.
I don't know. The modern city now in the country.
My own POP too.
My man, I see you. So what we're doing is to make sure that that library will be digitized. It will be equipped. Thankfully, after your show that evening, a very respectable Liberian, high-profile Liberian citizen who was impressed and called me. He got about 10,000 books, modern books, textbooks in India that people were donating to their organization. And they want to see whether I want some of the books or all, and the only thing that will be left is for us to pay the shipping fee. So there are a lot of goodwill donations to. We will digitize that place. We will get Starlink to. So it will be accessible to students and the public. We're looking forward to the next few months to complete it.
So, Deron, you added a lot of money to this project. That's the 2024 community engagement process of money, correct?
Right.
Okay. And again, I want to say thank you. Let's say it touched my heart. My brother, how you call him, also said he got so many books, and maybe he will call you. So many donations came his way too.
Yeah, by the way, thanks to Bill. By the way, thanks for Leo Johnson.
Yeah.
Who made some very positive comments about that project, knowing the value. You know, when President George Bush came here in 2006, he had gone to Tanzania. He had gone to Tanzania and committed a good amount of US dollars, millions of dollars. I think he stopped over in Ghana. I'm not sure. One or two other African countries. When he came to Liberia, he committed to send 1 million textbooks. If that did not resonate, that we need to read in this country, research, to be prepared and ready. Then I don't know what would have touched us. Reading makes a prepared man. I think the library project is a legacy one.
I think I want to say thanks to you. I agree with you. I think this is exactly what is expected. Thank you for coming on tonight. We do appreciate your time on Spoon Talk. We see the good, the bad, and the ugly, but the Liberian people will decide. And thank you very much for honoring our invite.
And so we have the 8th batch of our people at the rehab center. The first 4 batches, we have graduated over 200 plus people. 2 or 3 since 2021 have gone into relapse, and we're taking care of them. Graduated over 230 persons since 2021. Only 2 or 3 have gone into relapse because we do tracing, contact tracing. We have our contact tracing people. We always engage with our people who lead that center. We had the first 4 batches, all male, all boys. They're doing well. They're in the various communities. They have not touched drug any longer. Then we had the last 3 batches of female, all female. Now we have the 8th batch, which is the 4th batch of females currently at the center. Before your show started, I was on my, yeah, they don't tell you about salary. I released $3,000 of my salary every month to keep that rehab center up. That rehab center has 18 staff. The honorarium they get may not be sufficient, but at least it's something that keeps another group of families up. So it means we got 18 employees in the center. We'll take 20, 25, 30 to 40 patients or clients in there. We feed them 3 times a day, clothe them. And if they are sick and the clinic at the center cannot compete or do their medical condition, we take them to hospital. And if relatives and friends out there cannot afford to help with the medical bills, we pay. I've been releasing $3,000 of my salary to the rehab center since 2021. $3,000 every month and 12 months since 2021. Do the calculation. If anybody believes that the remittance of my salary to Montserrat County was meant to put people in queue, and these are some of the things that can make people to say they don't then get out. If anybody believes that this salary portion of which I say I will get back to Montserrat was meant to put people in queue every month and divide the money, wait for the 2029. I am proud with my conscience. Doing what
you
we
got
do
documentation, right? You have
documentation.
You have documentation on all these things. That's what matters.
So
right?
of course.
Yeah.
If you have 18% employee over there and they're taking pay every month, and you see people in there eating every month, every day, and with catering to them. If anybody think we're getting huge donation from other people every month, let me check it out. The record at the rehab center, it shows that I remit $3,000 every month. In fact, I just remitted on the 30th of April, $3,000 for the staff to take it. We don't owe our staff EVA for 1 month in that place.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, man. It's always
You're welcome, my brother. Welcome.
Yes, and we'll talk
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, thank you.
My regards to your wife,
Thank
by
you,
the way. Happy Mother's Day to her.
Yeah, she's happy Mother's Day to the Oma and your wife, and happy belated birthday. Even though I call you say happy birthday, my birthday is May 30th.
Yeah, yes, you call me. Happy Mother's Day to the other girl that I know about.
Well, now you think I look like do you think I look like poor candidate and that you can do that? One attack that you on a mother for you call it show off.
Okay.
No, see you, man.
Thank you,
all right, man. You're welcome.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you very much for joining Senator Dillon and myself, man. I hope you enjoyed the show. Listen, we're just going to take questions. I have Peter Solo. Peter Solo, yeah, he trying to add something to this, but you know, we respect our guests, and I will not interrupt the guests to bring, our agreement is that the guests come on one-on-one, then from there you can say your own. So, Damon, are you ready? Are you in there for us to wrap this thing up? Peter, I'm sorry that I cannot bring you what Dillon is on because he was a guest, but you called me to say what? I know you again have my sympathy on the passing of your brother, George Solo. You heard the show. What happened? What led you to call me, Peter?
Yeah, my brother.
Yep.
I've been made to understand as Senator Dillon disseminated on this platform tonight that my brother, the agreement for both Belgium and Italy for Ambassador Destiny, the late George Solo, never came.
That's what he said. He said the agreement never came, Peter.
Okay. First thing I want to say here is that on behalf of my family, the Solo family, I want to appeal to Senator Dillon and others that may have their interest in not seeing George Solo around to kindly allow the family to have a private homegoing of George Solo and our late brother go to rest in peace. And I want to make it clear here for the record, my brother, that Mr. Solo was appointed to Brussels. His agreement came. The executive marshal wrote the Senate requesting a confirmation for Ambassador Destiny George Solo. That communication is there.
But I get something straight, Peter. And Peter, let me hold you right quick. Let me hold you right quick because, again, you are welcome, but I know you guys, after burying your brother, have my sympathy, have the sympathy of the network. But let me ask you, though, are you saying that what the senator just said, that he didn't see any argument if there's one, he should... No, let me say this. The senator said... No, Peter, 1 minute. The senator said if there's any argument, he will resign because he didn't see any. Do you have copy of the argument from...
The argument from Brussels.
Oh, wow.
The point I'm making here is that the senator disseminated little lies to the people of Liberia. The second appointment, the Italian appointment, because this government is our government. We're not in shit of this government like the senator. This government is our government. The Solo family labor for it. The second appointment was made, and we understand that the agreement was stopped. Now, how possible it is for a diplomatic request to get stopped? Is that possible? Is that possible? It isn't. It's inconceivable. No. But these activities were carried out because of hidden interest. I will send you the argument. Okay. So
Are you saying for both countries, Italy and France, you received copy of the agreement?
I am saying specifically for Brussels. The agreement came, the executive marshal wrote the Senate to have Ambassador Solo confirm, Senator Dillon
So press that confirmation for his selfish reason. So he needs to explain that to the Solo family and the people of Red Eden.
We are there's a lot of people asking who's this. This is Peter Solo. I believe. Peter, what's your position? Yeah.
Brother of the John Solo, the head of the Solo family.
What's your position again in the government?
Director General National Lottery Authority.
Director General National Lottery Authority, and you say you have a copy of the agreement. If you do have it, my friend, share with us. And again, we'll call the senator to clarify. But again, everybody listen to the senator. He said Joe Soto didn't receive any agreement, so they couldn't take him for confirmation. We hope. Well, I mean, I'm going to talk to you in the back to see what we can do to bring you on the show if you can, or are you in the process of bereavement? But I want to say to all of you, Peter,
I'm still moving, but I will hesitate to provide you immediate information as it relates to my brother agreement from Brussels, to be specific.
So are we set as to the reason why the late Joe Solo never went on assignment? It was because he never had an argument, or it was because
never confirmed by Senator Dillon, because Senator Dillon selected his ambassador team to take that position. Plain and simple. He thought that job was too good for a ground man that worked for this government.
Oh wow.
Plain and simple.
Thank you very much, Peter Solo. Thank you. I will talk to you.
Thank you very much. Yes. I shall be furnishing you the requisite document. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter Solo. Again, my sympathy to you and the family. Ladies and gentlemen, we did a show. Peter Solo, Josh Solo, brother, Joe Solo, who passed away in the plane. His brother saying something that he will show proof. But again, whatever we receive, we will ask Senator Dillon again if he have the chance to speak on Joe Solo issues. But thank you very much. Dama, are you in the back? Are you ready to come on? I hope you had a wonderful time with us today. I hope it was a wonderful show. I say thanks to all of you that say yes, it was. It's always good to have Senator Dillon in studio. Next week again, we will be conducting the debate next week. We'll be conducting debate next week. I want to invite all of you. Don't forget, next week we'll be conducting debate next week between Danny Watkins and that of Albert Dupley, the Liberal Community Association here will be conducting debate. I want to say yes, indeed, you can join us. I will be in Trenton, Dama, and Dama, I see your call coming. Can you come on video? Let's close the show. Let's see who's calling here. Can you hear me now? Or you say Bobo? Dama, hold on 1 minute. I will have to mute myself. Just 1 minute, Dama. Dama, can you hear me? No, right? You're not hearing me yet. Just stay there. We got to close the show, but they're not coming back to respond. Senator, go ahead. You're live, sir.
I started our teach on this show, and I was very, very clear. I would let, that's the reason I didn't want to talk about this also because he's dead, and I'm scared to the charges. I want to see the letter from the president nominating Mr. Joe Solo for ambassador to Brussels with the agreement. I was there that the Senate received nomination letter for Ambassador Joe Solo, nominated as ambassador to Italy. And Italy did not do any agreement. So if Mr. Solo says he has agreement from Brussels as well as a communication signed by the president nominating Joe Solo to the Senate, we'll let us see that. Okay?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Yeah, that's a point.
Okay, I think Peter Solo, because we done the law, Peter Solo himself calling again to have the conversation with you, but we set something up.
No, it's not, it's to be back and forth now. Let Peter Solo show the agreement from
and the letter nominating Peter Solo to go to Belgium. I would like to see it. The letter that is before the Senate, and we were prepared to do confirmation proceedings for the late George Solo, was nominating him to Italy. And Italy did not do an agreement, so the confirmation could not go through.
Okay, so for the Belgian, the Belgian letter recommending George Solo, I'm going to send it to you. And it was respectfully signed by Sarah Beslo Yanti on August 6, 2024. That's one for Belgium. I'm going to send you all the info. Yeah, let me send it to you now, Dylan.
1 minute. I don't need that letter. The Minister of Foreign Affairs does not nominate ambassadors. Only the President of Liberia does. The Minister of Foreign Affairs can appoint other officials of the embassy with the consent of the President. But for somebody to be ambassador, it must be under the signature nominated by the President of Liberia, addressed to the President pro tempore for the Senate to take action.
There are two things over here, Dylan, but I'm so sorry, Dylan, because I must say I've really got to go. We have the agreement that.
The thing is,
yes, sir.
The thing is,
yes, sir.
The audience listening today need to carry a balanced, fruitful information. I want to re-emphasize as chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee and as a senator knowledgeable of these things, the Minister of Foreign Affairs does not appoint or nominate ambassadors. The Minister of Foreign Affairs can appoint minister, councilors, and other officials of the embassy, but for somebody to be ambassador, it must be nominated by the President. I want to see a communication written by the President to the Senate nominating our late brother as ambassador nominee to Brussels. I want to see it because the emphasis I made was that the President nominated the late brother Solo as ambassador to Italy. And the confirmation procedure did not go through because Italy did not do an agreement. Period.
The Honorable Senator, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thank you. And Peter, so thank you. Damon, I know that I have to call you my friend because you guys will get this in ready. I want to say, Damon, we had a wonderful program. I'm totally like, I'm in serious trouble right now. Almost 1 hour late, Damon. You have been here. And you know very well that I should be celebrating Mother's Day. That is not good of you. Make it rain for me tomorrow. Make it rain, Damon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, make it rain for me tomorrow. Something about you is not right. You got me in a serious situation. But I love the fact that our audience receive our message, listen to DeLon, and now we back and forth with the argument. I get a letter here from Belgium, and I have a letter here from France, right? One is in French. I can speak French. It says bonjour, excellencia, zizio. So I will send it to you. You're not going to speak French, you'll interpret it. But the person they get argument, but they don't argument is that do we have a letter appointing George Solo to Belgium? We have a letter recommending George Solo from Cyril Beslo-Yanti. But do we have a letter appointing George Solo? But hey, a great show, Damo. Thank you very much. As always, we'll be back on Sunday.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Yes, sir. To all of you out there, may God bless you. God keep you. Have a good night.